Another week of EGFC Rocket League kicks off and underway, and it's our fourth week of play here as I'm joined by Vincent for the first time this season, and I'm actually on a broadcast, at least visually, for the first time in Rocket League. At least, Vincent, how are you feeling coming into Xavier and UConn?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready. I had my fill of Valorant earlier today, as you can see in my background. Now I'm ready to watch some cars, kick some balls.
As you should. As you absolutely should. To see which teams will have said cars kick said balls, we'll take a look at our schedule for today. Xavier University will take on the University of Connecticut, or UConn as we'll call them day in and day out for the remainder of the season, because that's basically just their name. That's our first game of the day. It starts at, well, 7 minutes ago. Howard University versus RIT up after that to close out the day, I believe, with two separate casters who hopefully show up on time. Auburn University versus University of Texas at Arlington, and Montana State University versus Northern Arizona University. We have two teams out west, two teams in the central, and a set of four teams here early out towards the east side.
Exactly, yeah, and a lot of fun to be had. I think this game going to be potentially pretty tight, considering the fact that both teams not coming in with like the greatest of records. They're both 1-2 in the first 3 weeks of play, but hey, you know, a win on the belt of both squads means that they have something to kind of work off of, some momentum to build, and from here, well, the sky's the limit, as well as they can get jumping into this. With that said, let's talk a bit about the rosters on the Xavier side of things. It's Galaxy joined by Scrib and Confused Irish, and then for the Huskies, Shiro, Noah, and Gavin as well. I'm gonna be excited to see. I don't know, I haven't seen a ton of either of these squads, so maybe you can point out anybody you're looking forward to watching.
Shiro. I literally said, hey, this is how you say it, and then I say it wrong the first time I say their name. Nice job, me. Shiro has looked really good this season. Noah has been a little bit more of a consistent back-end factor of UConn, but honestly, as the producer for most of these broadcasts, I'm not paying attention to most of the more intricate things between each game. Galaxy, who almost shares the name with Northern Arizona University's Galaxies, who we'll see a little bit later on, is a really consistent factor of Xavier. So keep an eye on them to pop off if they can, and if they do, well, you're looking much better for the Xavier Musketeers.
Well, definitely you're going to be looking at that, as well as just looking to kind of build on what we've seen from these squads previously. Like we were talking about, you know, a couple of losses, but a win here and there. And just to kind of reiterate on that, Xavier with a win over the University of Southern California, and fine who it was otherwise, but apparently we're jumping right into the action. So we get things started. Galaxy already going to get a demo off onto Noah, so that isn't going to mean too much as it happens in midfield.
Oh, all the way into the corner. Noah creates a little bit more space after being demoed, but Shiro will understandably blackflip and get the heck out of there. I like this opening pressure built up by Xavier. They're forcing UConn out of position, forcing them out into the open and away from their very well set up defenses that are usually there. And again, you can see just consistent midfield pressure is peppering in more and more shots.
Galaxy go to get a touch. Noah there to kind of interrupt it towards mid, where Gavin, nice shot. That's well defended by Confused Irish. Pushes it out wide, midfield. It's 50. Irish. The hands of Gavin, though, and will interrupt that counter play that was starting to build, starting to create some space. As we've seen some tentative shots, not really anything solid just yet. Either side, actually, as we just passed the 1 minute mark into game number 1 of this best of 5. With that, UConn working to gather some control. It's been hit or miss, but that's a nice moving shot, clearing off towards the backboard.
Finally a clearance, at least fully negating most of the pressure that's been built up over time in the earlier stages for UConn. Up and over for a shot. Noah following up, does get the redirect, but Galaxy will shut that down where it stands. You can see difficulties starting to mount for this Xavier defensive side, and UConn building up more and more pressure. If you see them continuously get this into the Xavier zone and force Xavier into multiple inopportune scenarios, to say the very least, you're looking at a more than likely goal, and that's exactly what happens. The University of Connecticut, just over a minute and a half into this first game, open up the scoring with a nice pass across and a nice little slotted shot through.
Yeah, I mean, Shiro just gets the demo as well onto the defender there, dispatches them. There's no pressure in that corner. Noah sort of taking the ball away from Shiro in that position. Get that nice redirect onto net. By one, but Still a lot of game to play. 3 minutes and plenty left to work the script. The chance to happen. Gavin with a nice clear off to the side. It's not going to be easily held onto, though. Not clear indication before Noah can have it back down to Shiro. Going to get bumped out of the way. Back and forth we swing. Galaxy with the attempted shot, but straight up into the air. Confused Irish will bring it back down, but again, no consistent hold on this control of the ball.
Xavier having difficulties creating and continuing off of their midfield pressure. They have had some good midfield pressure, they've created good opportunities for themselves, but keeping it consistent is their main issue. And good physical play by Shiro does open up even more space. Nice pass down to Noah off the flip reset from Gavin, but it does not get slotted through. Confused Irish hits a player rather than the ball, and cannot create an opportunity for themselves off the back of it. Nice pass again up to Noah, but that one's still not going to go by.
Good ideas here for UConn, though. The way that they're attempting to set up these plays, a lot of fun to watch. Fortunately for them, just the confirmation on some of these moments isn't as easy as it does look. Shiro, another 50 that's going to go their way, maintaining control before Galaxy gets right into that script. Knocking that ball down. Then we get to Confused Irish, and it does.
Wow.
Script will get another handle on it, but pushing it away. Shiro back out wide, and a touch right into the middle of the pitch, right in front of that net.
Evan 1v1, flick for Galaxy ends up going awry, and it's collected by Noah and already cleared. About 9 seconds were spent in the offensive zone, and none of it even meant all that much other than the opening touch. A problem again for Xavier. Again, a good pass, and a follow-up this time from Shiro. Gavin, picture perfect off the corner to set up the booming shot up and over. Well prepped, well jumped, and again, well scored for the Huskies.
Feels like those passing plays that UConn have been attempting to work through time and time again that haven't always been so successful, trying to find some favor. UConn will regather control almost immediately. Past Irish, but not past Galaxy. Irish.
Oh no!
A bit of a moment, and actually a loose ball. Excuse me, Scrib. One touch, right there.
Very slight mistake as well. You can see Gavin go sailing by the ball. They wanted to have a light touch on it to still keep it away from their net, but get enough on it to try and clear it out of their zone. And it didn't work. They end up going right onto the ball. Happens to me way too many times. Let's just put it that way. It's why I'm casting. That's for sure. And UConn, off the back of it, they lose their insurance goal. They lose that extra buffer that they used to have. And now, with this offensive pressure, things become a lot more concerning, but they still retain that lead.
Bit of troubles, but trying to get the clear out. Galaxy will take it back. Noah's there. The follow-up, great touch from Gavin.
Wow.
And actually going to feed it. That's incredible. No boost in the tank. Still gets a handle on it. Fortunately, it's not 4-3. Scrib and Gavin meet in the middle for a 50. Goes towards Shiro. Demo out. Use Irish. What an incredible save from Galaxy. Going to come back, and Galaxy there for another clear. This time, it's long. Scrib to get back, but only 15 seconds left. Xavier need this now.
Doesn't look like they're going to find it, just barely out of their own net. Scrib does have an opportunity up the wall. Will center it for themselves, but too high. It hits the ceiling too quickly and will go rocketing back down to the floor. Galaxy last hurrah, but they end up pinching it off the wall and sending it straight to the floor. The 1-goal deficit not surmounted, unfortunately, for Xavier as UConn take game 1.
Indeed, and UConn, they were making those passing, the intention behind the pass plays were superior throughout that first game. What was happening though for Xavier is that they were attempting some of those 50s. They were really good ideas, and in fact, there was a lot of good bumps as well. Unfortunately, it was the amount of offense that we saw from UConn that won them the day.
And you can see UConn just having way too much midfield pressure. A lot of the time, Xavier was doing a good job of clearing their own defensive zone, but they weren't following up as consistently in the midfield because UConn was just too far forward. They had that control to work with. And building off of that pressure, you can also deny any defensive pressure you'll have to sustain. The last minute, I think, is a little bit of a statistical outlier. They did have to deal with that a little bit more than I think was ideal for them. But it worked. They ended up walking away with a very important victory there. And they only gave up the 1 goal, which at least negated some of the problems that could have come later.
Exactly. And so, well, the Huskies into game two, you have to ask the question, is that going to continue? And what will Xavier do to adjust? I think honestly, if they can find themselves a little bit more offense, that was basically the main issue, is that they rarely were able to have any sustained offensive prowess. There just wasn't time for them to get those attempted shots in. And if that had been the case, well, we might have been talking a different story.
Gavin clear, already looking good for UConn, but a shot back. They thought Gavin had boost, and Confused Irish takes full advantage of the fact that, well, he didn't. He takes one shot, he runs out of boost before even hitting the wall. And Confused Irish, full advantage, Xavier's first lead of the series.
Take advantage of those little mistakes. That's what Xavier do right there. They do it well. UConn, though, not down and out. 15 seconds into game two, and there's plenty of time to answer back. 50. Galaxy going to be losing that shot on target there from Noah. Irish will push it wide. It's Galaxy who gets
nice
one touch on it before Irish can get it all the way away.
It's a really good setup there for Galaxy. They understand they can no longer hit the ball after being bumped away from it, so instead they turn their attention towards the next player, denying that possible 50. But what is that from Noah? Talk about dunked on from a distance. He ends up redirecting the ball off Galaxy's car in the corner and sending it straight home from the same position. Nasty angle for Noah. That's a protractor shot and a half.
I don't even think Galaxy was anticipating Noah taking an attempt at that touch.
Me neither.
Fantastic work. Noah. Hero. Able to one touch forward. Demo as well. Opens up the lane a little bit, but don't worry. Still players there. And a nice shot over the top. Could have been good, but not quite on target. Galaxy will get another touch. Redirect off Irish. Doesn't happen either as Shiro pushes it wide. This has been a lot better from Xavier from the start as they got the opening goal and continued to look good.
I gotta say, though, this is a really exhilarating first minute and 10 seconds, minute and 20 seconds of this second game. Already more action-packed, even with one less goal than the entire 5-minute affair of our first. And you could see how energetic both teams are. Quick to the ball, quick to contact as well, not only focusing on individual ball play, but trying to get to the player as well. That physical play working out very well in the earlier stages, and they take full advantage of the chaos once more on the Musketeers side. Xavier in the lead again. This is a scoreline that won UConn game one. Will it be the same case for Xavier?
Good question, Gavin. A little bit of a light touch there, trying to, I think, get it out wide, spread the field a bit, but doesn't work. Anticipation from Xavier was good, and Shiro try to get that clear. Bumped away. Gavin intercepting right in front of the net as Noah wanted to take past Shiro and touch further towards the backboard where Galaxy can push that out back to midfield. Irish fight with Shiro comes away the better. Into the day. Back and forth here in mid. Touch. Oh, that was nearly disgusting. Xavier almost able to take that all the way. A wide open net. Will they get there in time? Yes, they will.
Looking at the shot for Gavin there, saying you cannot place that better. It had to be close side because of the slow nature of the last player recovering, and he takes full advantage of slotting this one home. Dead center. Seems like that's all you need sometimes. Good pass from Shiro, but it is cleared further by Confused Irish, and Scribb just not ready for the redirection nor the recovery of the rebound. A lot of re's, and we're re-tied up.
Everybody going one way, the ball the other. That's what UConn take advantage of. Oh, very nice touch. Gavin just gotten a little bit further under that. I don't know if that could have been cleared away. Could be disgusting. A little double tap maybe, but no. Shiro denied. Scribb pull it out. Gavin to meet the first of those pushes. Touch at the very least. A nice center ball. Of course, not able to follow that up is Noah.
Wow.
Will end up getting it still back on the Xavier half of the pitch. That has been UConn's best part, is that they've been able to sustain this offense.
What?
Shot on goal! Oh my goodness!
There is no way he has any business sending that one home. Gavin gets an insane second touch to go off the back wall. Noah's like, oh yeah, here, you can finish it yourself. Tap down right back to him. UConn will take the lead, and in style, no less.
Tee up for the teammate, nothing better. Lead back in UConn's favor. Massive, massive turn for this game. Xavier need to respond. They got 2 minutes to do it. Galaxy desperately trying to rend that ball away from Noah.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to center that back out. Looking for a second touch, but that doesn't work. It's one touch here, another there. Galaxy back down to Irish, who's not in position. Gavin collecting themselves at Scrib. Again, this aggression from Xavier, a lot better than we saw back in game 1. They're anticipating these touches and fighting for the ball at every touch.
Oh, and that's a problem. Scrib, at least we'll let the ball go by, so it's still control for Xavier. UConn have been forced into overcommitments off the back of Xavier's aggression. Sometimes that can come back to bite them, like right here. An overcommitment too far forward in the midfield without full control comes back to bite the Huskies. Xavier, with speed, aggression, and a little bit of a fortuitous 50 from Scrib, will tie things up.
Bobbing it over the heads of the UConn defenders. Xavier realizing this here. We're getting close to the end of this game, and that means is that next goal might be the one sended away. Gavin will get a demo. Shiro easily able to collect that shot from Galaxy. Gavin will not worry so much about making the connection with a teammate, getting that wide, but Galaxy winning that 50. Oh, didn't have quite enough what it took to get back to the ball, though.
This time he does. Luckily, he goes off the bottom corner, so elevated. Some time to recover for the UConn, or for the Xavier side, my apologies. The ball into the center. Scrib needs to touch this, but instead he'll be demoed in the process. Gavin will slot it top bins in the back end, and Xavier having difficulties on the defense, miscommunication, and just being blown up. No way to defend that one.
More like great communication from UConn, knowing the wind condition right there, just taking a shot at the one defender in position. A little fake there on the kickoff. It's out wide. Noah off the wall, right to the center. This is great stuff. Noah giving anyone a possibility for a shot. Unfortunately, nobody was there, and Galaxy gonna get a chance to go for the 1v1 in front of the net. Loses out.
Opens up. Flip reset set up, but he cannot get to it. Confused Irish was already there and prepped for the defense, but there's still only 10 seconds remaining. And again, only a 1-goal deficit to contend with. Make it 2 as Gavin will find yet another. UConn has had Gavin step up in a big way in Game 2. Xavier as a team certainly improved, but UConn made sure it was not enough.
That's the confirmation goal, essentially. A little insurance policy. Confirm what UConn already thinking. Time taken away, doesn't matter, even as Xavier get a goal at this point. Like I said, both teams 1-2 into this, looking to gather their second win, get even on the season. And now UConn, 2 games victorious. They're 1 game away from doing just that. Xavier, on the other hand, much improved, as you mentioned. These guys, it was a whole different ball game compared to that first game, where Xavier kind of looked a little bit too tentative. They didn't look like they were prepared for what UConn had planned. Mm-hmm. That last game, I mean, Xavier were, no pun intended, on the ball.
Yeah, and you got to look at Gavin as well. Gavin was stepping up in a big way for UConn. 4 goals, all of them assisted. Credit to him. Shiro had 2 assists. Noah had 2 assists. Gavin was just there for everything that was given to him, and he takes full advantage of it in the later stages. UConn was put up against the wall in the opening 2-3 minutes of that game, and yet they just find their circadian rhythm to close out the game once more. They show there's a reason for them to be towards the upper echelon of the Big East conversation, and there's still time for them to recover that. Like you said, only 1-2 right now.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, definitely options. Long way to go in this season. So you want to recover from maybe a poor start, and this is the way to. Yeah. With that being said, Xavier, if we see more of that, I don't hesitate to think we could see game 4, game 5, whatever. We're guaranteed the 3rd here in this best of 5, but Xavier looking better and better as time goes on. See if that continues. Scrib. The kickoff right into Noah's hands. It's Galaxy up for the 50, taking it away from Noah. Shiro keeping it low. Irish is very close to that ball. Evan will be quick to the trigger finger, though, able to make it away.
It was up, wants a second touch, but didn't have enough speed in the first one to create that double tap opportunity. And UConn, student body reverse. They just were not back quickly enough. Again, an over dedication. I brought this up about a minute and a half left to go in our first game and second game. Actually, just the second game. But they got over aggressive. They were putting themselves out of position, and there it comes back to bite them. Nice shot to take advantage for Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, Xavier just has to, I mean, they know that if they can get one of those long shots on target, then there's always going to be that possibility of somebody not being able to get to it. So, got to keep that in mind. UConn down early again, as it was in game number 2.
Wow.
They were able to bring it back there. Irish, they solid enough clear. Unfortunately, nobody back there. Running out of boost. Does get a bump, and well, a double commit for Xavier. It doesn't seem to matter. They both make a connection. Still some offense sustained. A nice shot from Noah. Maybe needed to feather that a little bit more, but had the opportunity to make that goal. Off the backboard, one shot attempted. Scrib with a miss. Galaxy back for more. That too goes to the right-hand side, off the side.
Evan again looking for a flip reset. He actually almost finds it off the back of his teammate, finding a follow-up 50. The rebound going his way, but in the end, it does not go into the back of the net. There's still enough defense there for Xavier. That more collected defensive setup has worked for them. Scrib gets bumped into position rather than out of position, as is usually intended for the Huskies' physical attacking style. And this one will be kept out of the net. The Huskies stay down a goal, but only narrowly.
Well, big demo there onto Galaxy. Unfortunately, nobody available for UConn to actually get that handled. And you mentioned the 50, beautiful Xavier to, again, delay that push. Galaxy now back on the offense, taking a touch. It's into Noah's hands and secondary as well. It's Irish and Scrib both fighting for the same ball.
Wow.
Winning a 50, a duel in front of the net, cleared away at the last moment.
Shiro unintentionally going off that wall, though, ends up sending it back into Noah, who creates an offensive bit of pressure off the back corner as well. He wants the follow-up touch, and he'll find it, but it goes off the post, and he ends up following up only to clear the ball for Xavier instead. And now difficulties mounting for this side. They're having problems creating and consistently following up on those opportunities, and Xavier just narrowly stays a goal up.
Yeah, I mean, Xavier very clearly, putting a lot of presence onto this defense, but they can get on the offense when they need to. Scrib, its attempt at that shot be cleared away by Shiro, and now Noah, some help from Gavin, able to recenter that ball. Shiro back and in business. Again, under Galaxy, and gets it all the way. Fantastic aerial work from Shiro. Look at this.
He gets up, just dips back up and under, and goes for the flip reset to throw off confused Irish. He could not have fooled both of them any better. The first player predicting he'd go higher, the second one predicting he'd stay low. Imagine being able to dupe somebody like that with full aerial control and getting a flip reset in the process. Almost a follow-up goal for Shiro, but that one denied. Good defense for confused Irish this time around will keep us tied.
Now that defensive prowess I was talking about, where Xavier playing it passively, they can't do that anymore. They no longer have the lead. Noah to make their way through. Shiro take out Scrib, but Galaxy was there defensively, and Shiro just taking that fight in the mid, ensuring that 50 doesn't allow for Xavier to transition into the offense as easily.
See, situational awareness was there for Gavin. Instead of going immediately for the shot, he ends up setting himself up for the pass into a demo or bump scenario. He's trying to set that play up. Good touch from confused Irish, just not directly on target. Will keep the ball in the offensive zone, as Galaxy does the same, but a rare double commit for Xavier could come back to bite them, and it goes bar down, but just barely will they stay alive. The fourth defender, the woodwork, keeps them in this, but a ball straight down into the middle. No one's there to follow up for UConn. Where have the Huskies run off to?
They were out of boost. Nobody really had the ability to hold on to that. That could have been amazing from Galaxy, but Gavin there to deny. Use Irish taking a touch as we approach the 60-second mark in this game. It's all tied up. Next goal could be the one to win it. All three UConn players there to play defense. Sure, the one to knock it away before Scrib. Recentered Irish denied as well. Right in the front of that net. There's still more offense to be had.
No way.
Irish off of him, and that's the goal that could send Xavier into this game win.
Noah gets the touch, but who's in goal? Where's that touch coming from Gavin? He just doesn't jump for it. I think a little bit too much confidence in his teammate, and sometimes that can be a bad thing. In this instance, it's the Achilles heel of the Huskies. And now a goal down with very limited time remaining. Within a minute, We're in the final percentage points of this third game. Will the sweep be conserved, or are we heading ourselves to a fourth?
Seems very plausible that a fourth is on the cards. A very free ball. That could have been dangerous.
What a pass! No!
And oh, it might be. Oh,
No one's back.
that could have sealed the deal. Indeed, no one is back, but Irish is getting there fast, as is Galaxy.
Galaxy misses though. Still a ball opportunity here for UConn. Touch there, as is the bump, but still nothing sent home. Pass across, Shiro set up over towards Gavin, who's still recovering. This has to be a good and quick touch from Shiro. It's still centered. It's still there for Gavin, who cannot find the ball he's looking for. Shiro jumping to no avail. Xavier will stay alive here in the series. I think your mic has disconnected, Vincent. I see you. I could see you talking.
Hey,
there we go.
We're back.
Okay.
We're back. I may have trolled and been muted. As I was trying to say, the fact is that Xavier have continued to look better and better as they warm up into the series, and even then, the offensive side of their push was like they had good offense, but they didn't even have the most offense.
Yeah.
They didn't even have the most shots. They just made them count, and that's exactly what Xavier needed to do, especially with that like last moment, 1 minute left push towards the goal, where essentially anything could have happened. It was back and forth, and honestly, no one could tell where it would go until the very end.
It was close, but it just was not quite for UConn. They made it work in the later stages, but they just could not get that final shot. And you can see more problems are going to be solidified if they don't start to at least reconcile with their rotation issues. They're still having those same problems, difficulty with rotations too aggressive in the earlier stages, and on that attacking side, good demo will throw those rotations off, but Gavin will deny a great shot towards the top side of the goal and will keep us level in the earlier 15 seconds.
One thing that I want to see from UConn in this game, or that we didn't get to see in Game 3 as much, is their passing plays. I felt like took a little bit of a backseat. A lot of those plays that UConn were trying to create were individual in nature and just trying to kind of create an impressive or a flashy play. I want to see that passing that we saw in Game 2 come back to the forefront.
Oh, Shiro wanted to try and set it up. Maybe he's the fake. Noah off the back wall sends it too high. It also was just too slow to follow up on. And again, a ball close, just not quite for UConn. They wanted to try and solidify that lead early, but they just cannot finish when they need to. Scribb trying to change that omen for the Musketeers, but is unable to do so, as he is one of the three who will miss just the same.
Maybe you're getting back in towards the midfield area. Gavin ended up winning that 50. Irish, but Scribb is there, and contain right now for Xavier has been very, very good to sustain that offense. Maybe denied now as Shiro will get one touch. Sets it up for Gavin, who is going to be fighting with Galaxy on that 50. Scribb, where things are now stopped at midfield point. 3 minutes 30 left in this game, and we still have yet to see a score.
They're trying to change that. 50 in the midfield, an awkward one to say the very least. Now Scribb has to backflip and bicycle kick it away from that net. Dangerous play for the, well, to say the very least, for Xavier, but they will clear. And you can see them a little bit more consistent on that defensive side, also a little bit more calm and collected, not throwing themselves too far out of position, not overcommitting to a lot of these balls on their back end. They need to make sure that stays the same case, even on their attack, because we've seen how it can come back to bite the Huskies.
Trying to get a handle on that. It's a little bit of a crazy
No
touch
way.
there. Back
No
into
way.
the middle. Scribb with an incredible defense. Gavin still in though, and the net is full. That is an incredible run of events there. This block, and then Gavin just getting around that corner, able to get the angle correct.
So close, yet so far for Xavier as well. There were two separate instances where they kept it out, and Gavin's, well, takes full advantage of, hey, third time's the charm. The saying apparently is indeed correct, at least for UConn early. Confused Irish trying to send one home as well. Has a double tap set up. He'll look for the angle, and he'll find it as well. An unintentional flip reset established just for him if he needed it, but somehow finding the angle and running out of boost in the same process. UConn was up for it. 2 players, as a matter of fact, and they still can't do anything about yet another protractor shot here in this series.
Hey, as soon as we get one goal, we gotta get another. It's been even throughout game 4, and it is staying just that way. Scribb with a nice touch. Oh,
Save.
that was scary because Noah couldn't get there, and one more chance for the Irish to make that connection.
Xavier making their case to try and send this to a 5th game. They've already sent us to a 4th, and again, you're going to see that 3rd opportunity sent home for Xavier. Confused Irish will be the one to send it through, and Xavier take full advantage of the limited numbers in the UConn backfield in the earlier stages past that kickoff. Gavin now trying to create something back, already in the air, already with boost, looking for a double tap of his own. Will he find it? He finds the second touch, but not on net, and Confused Irish finds enough of a touch to send it away. Really good recollection on the backside for Xavier.
By 1, enough space to work with. Gavin, oh, nice touch, trying to get around it, trying to center that ball up for a teammate, but unable to do it at that moment. Galaxy bring it back, has flip reset available, but isn't able to use it all too effectively. Out to Noah, will then pop it down, most likely to Gavin. Never mind, Noah trying to take it all the way, but Galaxy quick on the defense. Scribb missing the 50. Get back control for UConn. That's only temporary. The sidewall and right into front of that net where UConn can clear things up. 90 seconds and counting. This is still a game.
No. And Shiro, I think, just unintentionally saved a ball in the back line for Xavier, keeping them very much in this lead, but still without that insurance goal that they've been looking for 3 of the 4 games we've played thus far. They've had the lead, they've had opportunities, but they have not had that extra buff to keep themselves in it. Good pass, a follow-up on the give and go, but Scribb has to not touch it. He cannot afford to clear. In the end, UConn still do so, and no one's home for the Musketeers. Gavin looking for the air dribble, looking for the double tap. He'll find that in transition. Gavin, the speed, the courage, and the consistency for the goal scorer of UConn will tie us up at 2 apiece.
Fantastic double tap, gets right around the edge of one defender that could get back. 2-2. We're back in that same situation. 1 minute remains, and the final goal, rather the next goal, likely to give a significant advantage, if not the entirety of this game away. You know what? Around, trying to clear this ball away a little bit.
One's home.
This touch, yes, indeed. There's so many further players back. Giro
What?
actually takes an extra touch. Oh my goodness, they had time to get back, but instead, Gavin with an almost incredible shot, and it doesn't quite hit the mark.
Imagine that works. A pass to your friend on the backboard who sends it to the player waiting in the center of the pitch, only to just miss far and wide. So close for UConn, and so far from closing out the series. OT now seems more than a likelihood in this 4th game of play, but not a certainty just yet. Gavin wants another touch, will not find it. Down for Noah. Instead, Shiros will send it over towards him, and he will center once more. Irish needs a touch and will find it with 10 seconds. UConn looking for their shot, but now Xavier in transition back the other way. An opportunity of their own, and with 2 demos, it's 1 player left alone, and he'll find the touch he needs. The ball will hit the ground, and overtime is a requisite to decide whether we see a 5th game.
Golden goal time. 1 to determine if UConn can end this in 4, or a 5th is required, as mentioned. Irish be able to get that touch out there. Galaxy taking back control. That's going to go straight into Noah's waiting arms, but the guarantee trying to get something figured out. Oh, my goodness, everybody missed. No way, not like this. Noah doing it all on their own. Little tee up there from Chiro, but holy cow.
90% of the time, when you see somebody in front of the net like that, they're going to flip directly into the ball right away. That wasn't the case. Noah just lets it sit on the bumper of his car, and he waits. He doesn't use that second flip immediately. The hesitancy caught out the Xavier defender, and UConn take full advantage. They will take the series 3-1 in tow, and that was a crazy way to close out the series. Overtime lasted very little time.
Yeah, I feel like it was just that one opportunity that UConn were looking for throughout like the last 90 or so seconds of that game, and then into the overtime. They were close on so many points, but they weren't able to find something like that. And well, just the individual prowess, I feel like we saw that consistently throughout be a big deal, and it continued to be into game 4 to give UConn their victory. So the Huskies now 2-2 on the season, able to jump themselves up to an even 500
Yeah, and
I'm guessing they're feeling good about that.
you gotta see the improvement as well. They looked a little hesitant in games 2 and 3, but they improved that in game 4. They didn't make as many mistakes as I think we saw. I was talking about it in game 2. I brought it up again in game 3 when it really became an important factor. The overcommitments slowed down for the Huskies, and they take full advantage. They turn the tides of what they needed in the series, and they will end up walking away with that first series victory. We're going to take a break. When we return, we're going to get an interview with one of the UConn players, and then we'll move on to our second series of the day. We'll be right back. Close, and a good finish for the University of Connecticut Huskies, and they will make it right back to 500, as that very handsome man said. UConn take it, and Shiro in tow will join us for the interview. Shiro, to open things up, a concerning couple of games, but ones that you were able to confidently close away.
Yeah, I mean, we were we were kind of just vibing with the games, we were just seeing how they went. Sometimes we need to lock in, but it's all fun for us at the end of the day.
I mean, that fun turned into a hell of a lot of passing plays, to say the very least, in the earlier stages. And I gotta say, it worked for you guys. That coordination really paid off.
I mean, yeah, I can definitely see us growing as a team together. We recently been playing in the the CCA Opens a lot, and we've had pretty good runs there. We made top 16 last weekend, so I'm really proud with the boys. We've been making strides together as a team and trying to get to where we want to be. And hopefully we'll be continuing the season on a good note.
Dope. I mean, it's always great to see improvement over the course of the season, but I want to talk about the season here in EGF just kind of as a whole right now. Some good games, or a good game to kind of start things off, but amongst that, some losses as well. What was y'all's plan to kind of bounce back from that, to kind of get prepared for today and the rest of the season?
Honestly, we just need to move forward. One of our players was really upset. I mean, we were all kind of upset over the losses that we did lose. Because we really think that we're a stronger team than most of the teams. We just didn't play really well as a unit together. We're still trying to find our stride as a team, because we don't play with each other all that much, except for on game days. So it's really strange sometimes, but we're starting to play with each other more. Like I said, we were doing the other tournaments, trying to get some ranked in together. So we're finally starting to have our feel with each other and try and get back and hop back on the wagon.
Well, off the back of that, I mean, talking of, you guys feel like you're amongst the strongest opposition here. Who do you see as your fiercest opposition in EGF? Like, is there a team that comes to mind, or a couple of teams, whatever it is that kind of makes sense to you guys?
I mean, obviously we want to get back at RIT. That was a really bad game for us, and I think that was the worst I played individually in a series. We want to get back at that. But I think UTA is another good team in here that could probably give us more for our money. And yeah, I mean, that's how. Is Seton Hall still here or no? No. Then not no one that I can really think of other than that.
I mean, hey, two pretty good opponents, to say the very least. We've already seen Arlington show up very well, even without it being the official CRL roster that it used to be with Samba and company. And you talked about it, RIT. Mm-hmm. They play next. Talking about games in the future, though, you guys have improved, and you said it, trying to play a little bit more with each other. Has that helped your coordination? Has it helped the communication? Because we saw a couple issues, but it seemed to be mitigated with a lot of your offensive prowess.
Yeah, there was obviously some double comments and whatnot with us not talking. I feel like that's really the biggest issue with us, is sometimes we don't communicate well enough to where we are and what we want to do, myself included. So we've really been trying to strive to be better at that, and we've done some VOD reviews, and I've definitely gone over stuff with our coach. So just been trying to lower the amount of double commits we have.
Limit the mistakes. It seems like you have done so very well in this series. Any final thoughts from you? Any shout-outs you want to have? Really, anything you want to say? The floor is all yours.
Just shout out to the team. Shout out to Noah, Gaff, Lamb, Caker, rest of UConn boys, Winston. Shout out Galaxy. Love Galaxy. And the rest of Xavier boys. And yeah, that's it.
Great series and a great showing. Thank you very much for joining us, Shiro. And again, congrats on the victory and making it back up to 500.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too. Well, a first series done and close through and through, regardless of the 3-1 showing. I gotta say, Xavier looked really good in a lot of these scenarios and can look forward to the future.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun to watch. I'm excited to see what Xavier have to offer, because they clearly were improving over the course of that series as well. Something that if they're able to do over a series, they're definitely able to do over a season. So lots to continue to see from them. But UConn, victory once again. And, well, speaking of victory, RIT, they've had nothing but victories. That's what we have coming up next. Excited for it, TTL. But that's going to be after this break. We'll see you in a bit.
Howard University taking on the Rochester Institute of Technology here in our second game of our fourth week of play in the EGFC. I'm Time to Light. Still joined alongside me is that very handsome man, Vincent. I gotta say, Howard have some showings to do and have a very difficult opponent to do so against.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been the best of seasons for Howard up until this point, and RIT, well, I'll be honest, they're always a contender, and they've continued to be a contender here throughout the season as well. I mean, we're into the second series of today. We got two more to roll on right after this as well. And if the last series was any indication, though, we've got a lot of fun to have throughout today. As I mean, both teams 1 and 2 in that last series, but it was fireworks from the beginning. We consistently were having good games throughout. I am a little worried that we may not be seeing the same level of consistency and closeness into this next matchup.
Hopefully that churns and turns the other way. Maybe there is an improvement made. That has to be the case early for Howard. They cannot come out of the gates if they are not swinging, because the Rochester Institute of Technology, so about 90% of the time, will shut down anything that is done in terms of a mistake. RIT, as per usual, bring in Sebward, Sunblaze, and Jakob. Nothing changes, and honestly, nothing's broken, so no reason to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't seen a ton of EGFrocketleague, but you kind of know the likes of Sunblaze consistently. I feel like if you've done any sort of Rocket League all the time, and so kind of coming into this, it's definitely an uphill battle for Howard. I won't put anything behind that other than to say good luck. I'm hoping that they're able to kind of step up to the plate, and hey, maybe they can. The difficulty is that RIT have been so good this season and in the past as well.
I think they have a very bad opponent to match up against here in week 4, all things considered. If they want to step up and they win this week, honestly, that is the biggest turnaround I've seen. But it has to be a very good step up. Yamir, Flash, and 33 and Dodo. Is that how you say that name? That's at least close enough as to how I'm going to get it, because I wasn't given a pronunciation anything other than that.
Dodo. That's what makes sense to me. By the way, just like to give you an idea, this is an RIT team that outscored their opposition in week 2 by, let me just double check, by 21-3 over the series. Best of 5.
Wow.
That was 3 maps. Yeah. This is a team that is dominant right now, that they've been playing very well. In week 3, it wasn't quite so crazy. They won the series but they didn't outscore their opposition in that crazy environment. But to jump into game one, it is a lot to ask for Howard.
Jakob already trying to send one home. Good defense from Flash, at least early on. It is fully cleared. RIT need to go recollecting, and Howard come out of the gate swinging. I said you cannot exit your corner of the ring without looking for haymakers, and they end up finding one 10 seconds into the bout. First round, Howard University.
And, I mean, I'll keep it a buck. RIT clearly just kind of getting a little bit too aggressive there. They thought they had found a little bit of an advantage in that initial touch and wanted to take advantage. Jakob trying to find another touch that would have towards that net. Howard lucky that it falls by the wayside. Nice touch from Xavier. It's going to go off the backboard, teed up, but knocked away by Ymir. Does some good work there. Dodo to get one touch on that again. And her ball right up and in for Jakob.
Where the heck is Jakob coming from? I want to see where his point of view is as soon as this ball is in the air, because he seemed ready for this from the start. He's already up as it's being touched for the 50. He is ready and rearing to go for that 50 to go off the back wall. Takes full advantage. RIT will tie things up.
Pretty quick tie up as well. 30 seconds in. It's a touch from Indodo. Fortunately, there was an RIT player right there, Sunblaze. A bit of a fake towards Jakob, but ends up taking it all on their own. That's going to be a center ball. Knocking it off the back wall. But again, these touches towards the center of that net have been fantastic for RIT already. And an issue that is here to stay.
They're continually peppering in more and more offensive pressure, and as that pressure builds and builds and builds, eventually the defensive bubble for Howard is going to burst. Good touch, good pass across. Will the third player get there? No. Sebward is called upon once more to make that contact. They're still keeping it in this offensive zone. Sunblaze may get an opportunity to finish, but good read from Ymir will send that away, but only barely, as again Howard has to play staunch defense.
Dodo trying desperately to play defense there, but it's just not going to work. One touch or another, either way, eventually goes right. Sunblaze teeing it up, and Indodo can't clear it away fast enough. Sebward put it away. So, 3 minutes, 33 seconds on the clock as RIT take their first lead. See what goes from there. Indodo, it's actually on the kickoff, it gets bumped away. Can't follow that up. So Jakob get another chance at it. Sebward not going to connect on that first touch. Jakob sealing it away from Ymir, and this 50 towards midfield is going RIT's way a little bit more every single touch.
Good proactivity from Howard, getting forward in the midfield, making sure there's not a lot of space for RIT to work with. Jakob trying to take advantage of whatever he's given, but cannot do so anywhere past that 50 on the back wall. And again, RIT doing something similar. Yes, that midfield pressure is there for Howard, but it's only to keep it in the midfield, or for temporary sake, keep it away from their own defensive side. And the Tigers still peppering in offensive pressure. Flash will just barely clear, and just like that, Jakob's back up in the midfield. Sunblaze will follow, and it stays in the Howard half as they find a follow-up touch. And Dodo will just barely keep it away, but the slightest of touches almost made this a 2-goal game.
A little bit more power behind that touch, and we could have been looking at that 2-goal game instead. Jakob, nice touch. That's going to tee it up beautifully for Sebward. Not going to get the touch he was looking for. Good defense from Howard allows that to activate. Jakob will be back there to try and center this ball up. Cleared away, and Dodo will get a handle on that one. From there, the opportunity. Never mind.
Wow.
RIT right back with another blindingly fast shot, and this one connects as Jakob will put it away.
Unblaze, what a shot there. And Dodo, insane to keep that one away, but Jakob, a quick follow-up and a good pass across from Sebward to set RIT up. These passes, all importantly, have been quick. They are not telegraphed. There's not a whole lot of time for Howard to react, and because of it, they are being caught out sometimes. And Dodo will get back just narrowly, almost a kickoff goal off the actual initial 50, but that one will not go home. Almost a second, Jakob will center, follow-up from Sunblaze. That one kept away just the same.
To work with here for Howard. They've had some opportunities on the transition. Oh
no
my
way.
Goodness, I thought for sure that was a clear, but no, a missed touch actually. And a nice shot from Jakob. That's really unfortunate for Flash.
And that's insane for Jakob. He ends up going bar down, it hits the bar again, and he just sends it home. If he does not follow up there, if the bump from the 50 goes any further towards Howard's way, he doesn't get that follow-up touch. Instead, he's there for the follow-up, he's there for the goal, and RIT now there with a 3-goal lead. Sunblaze looking for a 4th, will not be able to find it. Flash, good defense there. And honestly, with how many shots RIT have had, and with the probably 3 minutes of offensive zone time they've had in this game, of the 3.5 minutes we've played, credit to Howard for only letting up 4 goals. There's no way you're supposed to keep this many good shots out of your own net.
That's fair. Good point. Fortunately, the problem is, the team that's playing all defense never going to be able to get on the offense, and that's kind of been the feeling. Sunblaze, wow. That's a dirty angle to be able to score from. Look at this.
He's just out the open and sends it past both players. Both of them are in pretty decent positions as well, and Flash was coming in as a 3rd man. How does RIT send another goal home with all 3 players within 5 meters of the goal?
Yeah, it's brutal. I'll keep it a buck. It is brutal. Jakob will be able to get a demo there. Fortunately, Ymir maintaining control, but Ymir's got to get the heck out of there with that ball. Dodo back returning. That gives so much time for RIT to get boosted and into position to take a couple of shots.
It is decent clearances more often than not for Howard, but the fact is they're having difficulties keeping it out, which, like you said, is giving RIT that time to gather boost, to regather themselves, or to gather more and more shots. Jakob will find his 4th goal of the game. RIT will find their 6th, and they are approaching a Brazil here in our first game of the series.
Tragedy striking for Howard at the moment. They led the way, blazed the way with a first goal lead.
Did you say they sunblazed the way?
No, I wouldn't say that. Just blazed the way. Unfortunately, since then, they haven't had much success, and it is indeed that score line we all look for, the Brazil coming through. Sunblaze there to deliver it.
And that's about the final nail in the coffin, I think, at least for this first game. Remember, this is only game 1 of a best-of-5 series, just a thing I thought I'd at least bring up early. Jakob looking for 8th possible goal, will bring it up and over. It is touched, but Flash, unfortunately, with the touch, has it go right by him. He wasn't expecting his teammate to make contact while up in the air, and I think he jumped about right after, and yeah, he goes sailing right by it.
Not really Flash's fault, to be fair.
Yeah. Just unfortunate.
That's just an unfortunate little touch that happened to knock that ball entirely off course from the expected position. Jakob actually going to miss that ball, and Dodo touch. Maybe get one for the road. Some offense generated finally after that first goal, but well, scoreline being what it is, it doesn't matter all that much for the result in this game. 1. Missed away.
And of course, a 9th goal scored by RIT with a single second remaining, so we have to go through the formality of another kickoff. This is, I think the best term is adding insult to injury, because the Tigers have just looked insane in this first game.
Yeah, the Tigers eating tonight, at least for the moment. That'll be a little bit of a flub kickoff, straight down and on to the pitch. So 10-1 is the final score, or 9, excuse me. Not 10.
Almost.
I don't know why I've added another goal, but look at the shot total. 1 shot.
19-23.
Yeah, math, exactly. Yikes is my very real and entire reaction.
No, I disagree. I think that shows how good a team Howard is. RIT only had like a 37%, maybe 40% shot percentage. Howard was 1 for 1. That's 100% shooting.
You're right. When they get the shot, they're on target.
And wait, the funniest thing, I don't think that their opening goal actually counted as a shot because it was thrown from beyond half field.
Oh, really? Did it not?
So I don't think that's technically a shot according to Rocket League, which makes it even funnier.
As much as we're clowning a little bit here on Howard, listen, it's a tough game.
Yeah.
Like, it's RIT. You know, I don't know that there's a lot of teams, and as we've seen, there is other teams that are doing not very good. significantly worse at times against this squad. So I'm hoping that Howard can kind of bring a little bit more to the game here in game 2. But in reality, RIT, they essentially set the pace, set the tone for this game in that first one, and we're just kind of rolling from there.
Remember, Howard scored in the first 10 seconds of that first game as well. It was primarily off the back of RIT getting a little overzealous the first 10 seconds off of some control they had. Good demo from Sunblaze will create a good opportunity, but an overcommitment, it doesn't matter. They still have a centering pass.
They'll get there in time, but nobody's actually in position to take that. Good rotation. That could be scary. There's a lot of players in front of the net there for Howard, but fortunately RIT maintaining full control. Howard
What?
no real danger of getting a score. I don't know how that bounced, but okay. Jacob will be able to get it back over to Sunblaze, who can try and center that up.
I think he ended up flicking it forward on the underside of his flick while he was recovering from it. Nasty way to elevate the ball. Basically like an inverted musty, but with your wheels instead. And you take a little advantage. Double demo will trade immediately. Flick will go through, but Flash, good predictive defense, will keep that away. And RIT still with offensive pressure, but still not with a goal in this first minute of play.
But in fairness, Howard haven't really made it out of their own half. So surprising as that is, you can see RIT taking some liberties in these passing plays and trying to a little bit fancy with it. I mean, I guess it is a little fancy, but not anything fancy about this. Xavier dropping the ball directly into the position Jakob can take the shot.
You know the ball trail changes colors depending on who last made contact with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ball trail was blue on the pass. It was a 50-50 inverted on the ceiling that ended up passing that one down.
Oh man, I didn't notice.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It's one of those 50s that doesn't go your way, and RIT take full advantage. Wants a second. That one will not go home, unfortunately. Sunblaze will just narrowly miss that opportunity. And now Howard back the other way. Sebward forced to make a good save, and does, because, well, it's Sebward, why not?
Off the ground, and well, Xavier gets a little bit of a touch on that, but able to control that ball as there's a clear out. Center ball. Oh, Mir. Nice touch, good clear. And Xavier going to have to do some more of that defending we were just talking about. It's a brief hiatus, but hiatus nonetheless, as Blaze will get Flash out for the moment on that demo, but still control is fleeting for Howard.
Jakob up, pass across, Sebward already up. Sunblaze looking to follow, will not be able to find that touch. A little bit of an overcommitment from RIT. Now it is a panic to get back. Jakob will make contact, a second off the wall just to slow things down. And yeah, RIT, in the process of 2 indirect touches in their corner, have already collected themselves and turned the ball back in their own favor. Sunblaze wanted to go for a flip reset, but the communication just not there. Jakob ended up throwing him off.
Yeah, clearly RIT just starting to try and make some ambitious plays, and oh, the save almost there. Sunblaze, though, a bit too quick. Valiant attempt on this save, though, by the way, from Ymir. Was it Ymir? No, it was Flash. Excuse me.
It was really both. Either way, just close, but no cigar for Howard, and you can still see them being close in the defense, just not being able to keep it out long enough, nor clear their zone quickly enough.
Be a chance here. Oh, Flash missed touch. That's going to let Sunblaze right back in there. And Dodo with a nice touch, though, as well. Be able to center that up. Ooh, bit of a dangerous touch from Jakob. That's could have been bad, but no Howard player was actually into position. That's going in. Oh, my goodness.
How in the world are you able to send that one home? Sunblaze just gets a casual touch over one, and then behind the other who had no reason to be on the goal line. He should not have been able to slot that one through.
I have no idea how he makes that happen, but it's impressive no matter how many times I see it. Flash just trying to get some control. Passing play attempted, but that's going to be a 50. Cleared away by RIT. And their offense generated a fantastic touch to dodge out for Flash, but the angles here are absurd.
And this is off the corner for Sebward. Actually, no, yeah, he does send it off the corner. I thought he didn't for a second. He just sets himself up off the corner and will casually reorient his car in the correct direction to send that one through in the top corner. RIT have 4 goals. All of them belong on the EGF highlight reel of the week. And that's in Game 2 only.
Yeah. I mean, in like 2 of these goals, I can't even believe happened. So impressive. Just the angle from which they're able to take 2 shots is just fantastic. RIT. We're going to get a chance at some offense. Howard has control going into their opponent's zone, but Dodo, oh, what a touch! Oh, what a touch from Indodo! That's the way you do it. Look at this.
Jakob, it's beat. A little too predictive on Indodo, and the flick up and over ends up being denied as it stands. Howard, that's the step you need. That's the goal you need to at least start to bring yourself back into the series, give yourself an arguable shot at maybe bringing back this game. Not likely. Let's be real with each other here. But there's still a minute left. 3 goals are not completely unreasonable with 60 seconds on the clock.
Xavier, Demo, Sunblaze, up and over. Gets a little bit in front of it. We'll drop it to Jakob in the middle of the offense. 5 seconds. Xavier maybe getting a little bit flashy with it. Hello. And Flash is going to send it to completion.
40 seconds. This is about that juncture. This is what you need to keep on the Howard University side. Flash will get the final casual touch. It seems ever so slight, but if he doesn't, RIT may get that clearance and may keep this a 3-goal game. Not the case. Not so lucky for the Tigers thus far, but Jakob, oh no, the flick, he tornadoes it home. That may very well be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it. Fantastic work from Jakob, just able to get that touch off of the first engagement on the kickoff, and you know, nobody there in time. How could you be there in time?
Feels bad, man, moment to say the very least. You're not supposed to be able to get shots that quick, that early, without all that much boost, and he does anyway because, well, it's Jakob. What have we come to expect, if nothing less? Re-aggression, touch off the corner for Sebward. Jakob is shut down. Good defense still for Howard. I am ready for the shot totals because I want to know how well Howard's defense played in the second game. Minus that. Just pretend it didn't happen.
Pretty disgusting. Sebward, nice touch there. Straight to Jakob. This passing play is absurdly good. 1, 2, and 3. All 3 RIT members involved in that score.
All of them prepped. All of them getting involved in this series as well. It's what we've come to expect from the team. You said it last week, the goal differential, insane. This week I think is going to be a similar story, even with some of the more stylistic plays they're going through and going for. Sebward, will they find a 0-second goal? No. They can miss off the crossbar. See, gods do bleed.
Apparently they do, but not enough to do damage because Howard, unfortunately, unable to find too much there, despite 2 goals. I mean, realistically, improvement here for Howard, but I don't, for some reason, it didn't feel that way. RIT, only 12 shots for their 6th goal.
Hey, they're also improving in terms of their shot totals and, you know, percentage in shooting, you know, 6 for 12 instead of 9 for 23. Something's moving up for both teams. Howard's goal totals, RIT's shot percentage, and you get the general idea. But you have to say,
you're reaching a little bit. Just a little bit.
I'm like a bad defender in the NBA. I always find an opportunity to reach. Make it a little closer. But hey, I mean, Howard are finding improvements. Their defense is still looking good, regardless of RIT trying to play a little bit more, we'll say, out of the ordinary. And they have cleared the ball a few times. They've gotten it onto their offense. They've created themselves opportunities. We saw them convert a couple times as well. They have shown signs of life. Just now they need to show signs of death to RIT.
Exactly. And those 2 things are unfortunately very different. I do want to piggyback on that and say, yes, their offense maneuverability wasn't, I mean, we didn't get to see too much of it. But we got to see far more of it in Game 2 than we did to get to see in Game 1. And so that continues to go on an upward trajectory. Howard are not out of this at all.
What? I'm sorry, I look away for a quarter of a second and I see Flash just sitting in front of the ball. And now Jakob going for a goal early will be denied by Xavier, but Sebward looking for the follow-up will send it just wide of Xavier, who does recover in time. Weird defense early, but good for Howard regardless.
Hey, wins are wins. Sometimes you gotta do it in a odd manner, and sometimes it works out for you. This time, Sunblaze is working out beautifully. Feels like Howard played like a fiddle there by Sunblaze.
Sunblaze just patiently waits, plays the 50 properly, knows he doesn't have to be too close to it, and actually, the fact that he was further away, he takes full advantage of. He will get the follow-up touch in the air. And RIT takes him 29 seconds this time around compared to the minute and change it did in game number 2.
That worked with an incredible touch, and Dodo
and
going to be able to clear the first, but the second, not a chance. RIT up by 2, we're just over the 30-second mark, and that's not a lot of time. If you're counting.
No, and you have to say, at this point, this is what RIT is meant to do. And you gotta say also, RIT's playing for goal differential. We've always had the conversations of, oh, don't go for 94 goals in a series you're supposed to win anyway. But they will come to tiebreakers down the line. There are teams that are at or near the RIT level. And I gotta say, they still have to play about as dominantly as they can when given the opportunity.
No, I don't begrudge any team for playing the game as they need to play it to have their best chance of success later down the line, whether that be in goal differential or just in the win column. You got to do what you got to do, and unfortunately, Howard are on the other end of that, which sucks. But RIT, they know it, we know it, and Howard know it.
Sunblaze, will he find another stylistic goal? Wants to go for the double tap. Was a late decision to go for the double tap. I thought he was setting up the flip reset instead. He'll just pass it across. Sunblaze, another follow-up. This one not going home. Jakob will end up beating Howard to the ball and will back pass it out of trouble towards Sebward, who, you guessed it, was there waiting and ready.
Fakes that RIT put together, like whenever they're playing for maybe a touch, two players kind of going the same direction, playing that fake, it's just so powerful oftentimes. RIT will get another clear out towards their offensive side, off the backboard. Flash, get a handle on it, but Jakob is right back in business with Sunblaze following that up.
You know what it seems like for RIT when they're doing that fake type setup? You ever seen a volleyball game where you set the player up and there's a fake spiker and a actual spiker? That's basically what RIT is doing every time, and the blockers are just going the wrong direction. They are feigning properly on the Tigers' half, and it's working. It's actually a scary conversation and combination because it's very accurate as to how RIT's playing. Flash, imagine he own goals that off the redirect of being bumped. That would have been insane. Would have been.
Would have been. Could have been, but definitely not should have been. As we see some crazy amount of shots already, and the defense from Howard, it is getting better. Somehow. I mean, they've been playing good defense throughout, and it's been even better here in Game 3. Problem is that it's not stood up entirely, and down 3 goals, they got to get some offense going. How can they do so? That's the question. Well, to Ymir, maybe that's the answer, but it's quickly taken away. Flash tries to work for the 50, but it's won by RIT. Off the backboard, right into the hands of Sebward, who sets up for Sunblaze, who flicks out wide. Not gonna connect.
Imagine I told you through your first 2 games of play in a best-of-5 series, you were going to deny 20 individual shots and still lose by a combined 12 goals. That shows you how many attacking opportunities RIT have and how many they're going to continue to send home. Sebward, even while being demoed, actually Sunblaze, while being demoed, will still get a more than beneficial pass across. He'll get the final touch, and unfortunately Ymir was baited into it. 4-0 RIT.
2 minutes to go in what is looking like a guaranteed RIT series. A 4-0 deficit for Howard. 0-4?
Yeah.
Deficit, I guess, technically. Point is, they're down, and it's looking better and better on their defense, but their offense needs to find something. Sebward finding even more offenses. At this point, do we even talk about RIT scoring?
Jakob was in the air for so long, they were predicting he was going for the double tap. And in doing so, he just sits in the air, baits them out. Sebward has the easiest tap-in from 15 meters you've seen in Rocket League because they're both still looking up where the ball still is. They're worried about that double tap because RIT have, well, really put us to come to expect it at this point. Double tap opportunities, flip resets, insane combination shots, or, well, what we see more often than not is them just dunking through. Either way, I mean, whether we talk about it or not, it still happened. Oh my goodness, he goes bar down twice, and it still doesn't go in. Sebward's, however, will.
You know, if at first you don't succeed, try again. That is something that RIT seem very much to subscribe to. This is Sebward, indeed, on the attempt of Howard trying to revitalize their offense. They think they have a touch for it, and Sebward gets there too soon, too quick, and, well, is there time to come back at this point? Genuine question. I don't think so.
No. No, let's see, can I do quick math in my head? You need about a goal every 6 seconds. Goal every 9 seconds, whatever the math is. I don't know. Needless to say.
RIT could probably do that.
Yeah, I mean, with how they've been playing thus far, I wouldn't really put it past them. But 7-0, there's no feasible shot at Howard coming back. Whether it's a mathematical probability or a real feasible possibility is really neither here nor there. It's not going to matter. They also would have to come back from a reverse sweep up against a team who's arguably looking for the EGFC Season 5 championship down the line when we come to the spring. And what, have they yet to win a series this season, if I read the schedule correctly?
That is correct, unfortunately, for Howard, but
yeah.
Hey, win it sometime. That's a weird interaction that Jacob was having. I didn't see who on Howard. Kind of stacking up. What a center
wow!
What a center ball! Oh my goodness!
Jakob was up for that. How in the world do you prepare for that? Look, Jakob already prepping his jump in midfield as the ball's going off the corner. How do you read that? Somebody went to geometry class before this series started, and it's entirely possible that all 3 players in RIT are in a 400 level geo class, because there's no way all of them are able to do that without doing so.
Regardless of whether that's the case or not, 8-0 RIT.
9.
Handling business, and yeah, adding 1 to the scorecard. 18 seconds left. There's just no way.
That is their 24th goal of the series. We have played 14 minutes and 42 seconds of Rocket League, and they have 24 goals. And this series technically isn't over yet. Indodo will grab the boost and deny at least early control. Sunblaze wants to pre-jump but will be denied. Will they find their 25th? No, they may give up the 4th. It'll go bar down, but it'll still be saved! Oh. It'll still go through, though, and Dodo ends up sending that through. Howard University will replicate the scoreline of game number 1, but it was all just a disconcerting.
Hey, you know what? Howard deserved that one. I'll keep it a buck. 4 seconds left. RAT not sweating it whatsoever, that's for sure. This will, once it touches the pitch, that will send us to the end of this one. 3-0 in the favor of RIT as they add a 4th win to their tally. Dominant showing as they pick up 24 shots to 2 in this last game.
Let's see. 12 shots in game 2, 23 in game 1. You said 24 in this game? 57, 69.
12. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Indeed. A stupid amount of shots is the answer to the question. Listen, commiserations to Howard.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the give and the take here. They put on the best showing that they could, but realistically, I don't think anybody was expecting too much against such a powerhouse.
No.
RIT are a team that consistently have been at the highest level, and there's a reason for that. And, you know, it's no disrespect to Howard for this loss. It's just a matter of these guys are really good.
Yeah, and when you're playing up against a team like RIT, there's just no way you're going to consistently be able to score on them, period. End of story. That is a full stop. But the fact is, you give up 24 goals in 69 shots. That is just shy of a 66% defensive save rate, and you still are looking at more shots put on. I gotta say, Howard's defense, good to keep the ball out of the net, not good to keep the ball out of their own defensive zone. If they improve that part of their game, I think their season basically flips on its head, because their offense looked good, it just didn't have all that many opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, I feel like we could continue talking about like the fact that Howard were consistently able to find those clears. I feel like there wasn't even one individual that was like supreme. Everybody was really good on the defensive side of the ball, but when you can only play defense, you can't play offense, and offense wins.
Well, it is a lot of offense for RIT. 24 goals on 69 shots in 15 minutes of Rocket League. Collectively, they win 24-4 in a 3-0 series sweep, and they will continue on their series streaks throughout this season. They have given up only a singular game all season as well. That was just last week, but it was still a 3-1 series victory. It'll be 3-0 this week. Unfortunately, they have denied an interview, so we don't get to talk with anybody from the squad. So in that case, we're just going to move on. And we, Vincent and I, are going to step away. TDS and Flater will be taking our spot, as it's UT Arlington who take on Auburn in our next series.
And welcome everyone to the Week 4 EGF broadcast. It's me, TDS. I'm here occasionally, but I'm still here coming in to watch every Rocket League action. And with me, it's Flater over the wait, yeah, like this. Yeah, perfect. It's Flater. Thanks for coming in here with me today.
Hey man, it feels good to be here. You know, I finally got the portraits right. I never get it wrong on the first. I never get it right on the first try. You know, but hey, just a few caveats of casting. But hey, love to be here. Half the action's been done. A lot of Rocket League has gone down. A lot more to go. The very first matchup, the very first best of 5 series, we've got Auburn University going up against UTA. Quick recap of what's gone down up until now. Xavier went up against the Huskies from UConn, 3-1 scoreline, and we had Howard University going up against RIT in that last game, as we saw RIT taking a win in a dominant fashion with a 3-0 scoreline. Now, coming up on the next one, Auburn University going up against UTA Mavs. What are we thinking about this?
Well, it should be an interesting matchup. There's a bit of maybe favoritism going towards one side. Obviously, they've been on a tier, to say the least, so it's understandable. But overall, I'm expecting maybe a bit more of a contested matchup, especially because today we haven't had any game go to the last game possible. Like, we haven't gone 5 games.
True.
And I hope that we get some action like that, because I want to see something just completely chaotic coming in and be able to go the full way. That being said, the expectation maybe for this matchup probably is not that one when looking at these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you talk about favoritism, but it does make sense. UTA is coming into this one with a bit more confidence from what we've seen from them on the pitch. You know, we've got 3 amazing players from UTA: Random Shy 26, Sin, as well as Polk. And on from Auburn, we've got Mango, Dreskel, and Ariels coming in hot into this best of 5 series. I mean, I'm all for upsets. You know, I would love to see Auburn University bring up an amazing fight in front of UTA, but what I'm gonna say, TDS, it's gonna be a bit hard.
Exactly, and apparently there's going to be a sub coming in for Auburn. I think it was God. Just wanting to confirm that once again, but it got thread on thread. Okay, yeah. So there's going to be a sub, probably going to make things a bit harder for Auburn, but overall we have seen stories where the sub coming in out of nowhere ends up taking the team to victory. Maybe it's not going to be the case today, but maybe it will, and I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out, especially as soon as we are able to get into the games. It should be in a short time, actually already, so we actually get the start of the action with a really quick attack coming in from the side of UTA.
Here we go, game number 1 of the best of 5 series. UTA already starting off strong here. Auburn trying to get out of their own half. Will UTA start off with the first goal? And you know, with the kind of momentum that they're coming into this one, it does seem like they might start off that way. But look at that. Good response overall from UTA. Now heading back onto the offensive side. Amazing save there by Josh. Looking to pick it up once again. It's Mr. Mango trying to take another 50. Oh, physical plays this early into the game. You love to see it, but no goals just yet for either of the sides.
A very quick action from both teams, trying to force as much as possible, even with the demos coming through, but not really going towards the nets. Just one save so far, actually almost another one, but it's on the side of UTA that are forcing the attack. Barely have seen anything from Auburn. apart from being close to their net. And that's a bit scary because they need to try and push back on the onslaught from UTA. They need to try and answer back in some way. And so far, it's been very, very little, to say the least.
Oh, it has. You know, this is the kind of competition that you love to see. It's a lot of back and forth between these two teams. You know, both Auburn has been spending loads of time on the offensive side as well. Let's see if they can actually translate it into an attack that could be considered risky for UTA. As once again, they have been spending more and more time on the offense. Here's another shot coming in from random Shy, denied by Mango. As he's looking for a shot, it's gonna hit the crossbar. A demo comes in as well, and the pressure has been relieved. UTA will head back to offense.
And that's the sort of opportunity that we can see coming in from Auburn. Maybe not as consistent, but in the small chances that they get, that's the best they can hope for. Because with the amount of attacks that UTA are forcing, they leave open a bit of space. And in that slight space, that's where Auburn may try and find the opportunity to force an attack. That being said, it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be as consistent as maybe you would like to see.
Well, half the game remaining here, you know, TDS, I am loving what I'm watching here. Auburn is firing on all cylinders at the moment, and you know, if they can keep this momentum up, that's exactly what I want to see from them. UTA stopping them in the roots, you know, not letting them secure even a single goal at the start of first game. No better way to start off the series. I mean, they could take a goal. The way they're playing, that might just not be too far into the future. They're looking for shots right now. Here's a pass. It could be a corner play, but the third man's a little too far away. 2 minutes remaining. Auburn is still on the offense, but how long remains the question.
This was one of the longer attacks that we've seen from Auburn so far. Almost make it work out with the numbers advantage, but the demo is just simply not enough, and the crossbar also denying a bit of the attack. Now, though, like you were mentioning, Auburn was able to hold on the attack, on the initial attack from UTA, and now has been able to mount up some of their own attacks coming into the side of UTA. If they are able to keep things like this, even if it's just by one goal, a goal lead is still a goal lead, and you can try and win the game just by having one more than you.
Absolutely, and you know, as the clock ticks down here, it really comes down to that golden goal that we'll be seeing from either sides. Even before it hits the overtime, that could very well be a possibility. Will it be UTA securing that, or will we really just go to overtime? Plenty of time left here in regulation, and it seems like Auburn is on the right track to make the first goal happen. Aerials first soft touch, looks to control it once again, but Sin sends it away. We've got Josh, control of the ball, but not for too long. Gets it over one, demos the other, third man, there he is. Aerials denied by the 50, and Auburn still remains scoreless.
Still scoreless, but they are forcing really well. But now there's an open space on the side of Auburn. Is this the opportunity that UTA was looking for now, trying to put on the attack here in this situation? Or Auburn actually maneuvering it so well and now forcing themselves onto the other side?
Hey, whatever it may be, it's working, right? So if Auburn University can just continue doing that for the next 30 seconds, that would be hilarious. That would be amazing. 30 seconds remaining, as we mentioned. Auburn University playing out of their minds at the moment. And will they be able to carry it home with an actual game win? That's the hope. 17 seconds to decide whether the first game will go to will end in regulation or no overtime.
Sin forcing it, and there was one slight attempt there and a demo, but it's not going to be enough. 6 seconds remaining, and they're trying to close it out before it's overtime. But I think we're going to go overtime later. Unless
we see an early kickoff goal. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Ooh, but you know what? It could be. You never know. I'm not going to bet on it. But there it is. Possession in favor of UTA. There's a shot. Aerials, good save. Sending it into the corner, but possession still remains in the hand of UTA. 50 goes down from the ceiling into Auburn's arms, but not to be picked up and taken a shot from 20 seconds in. And TDS, I'm just glad this is not a kickoff goal.
Exactly, so far so good from both sides, really forcing onto each other and actually giving us quite a long first game to a surprising degree. not what we kind of expected coming into the first matchup, and already making it quite exciting. Who's going to take it? It's up in the air, but it's really, really interesting seeing how it's going to turn out.
Golden goal for either of these teams to decide who takes game number 1. TDS, who do you think is going to take this goal? Will it be UTA, the already claimed winners, or will it be the underdogs?
So it was so close there by UTA, but Auburn able to deny that last attempt, and it's setting up like maybe Auburn is going to be able to actually pull it off, taking some really good attacks, but UTA is not stopping at this point either. Demos keep on coming through.
That they do. One well-placed demo is all you need, honestly. And the way UTA have been playing, they only need one mistake to mess up the defense. Have they received anything like that yet? No, not so fast. This could be something. A shot on target from Auburn
close.
finally will go in, and that after 100 seconds of overtime will be Auburn coming out on top. Dreskel closing this one out. It could have been a save, ended up being a bit of an own goal as well. So Auburn, in the end, with a 1-1 scoreline in overtime, take game number 1.
Yeah, and already starting really, really great there, Auburn, with a really good performance to start it off. Played around surviving the initial attack from UTA. Hold on as much as they could initially, and then they forced their way back onto the map, trying to make their attacks happen. And it was really through in how they made the preparation and how they executed on the game. Now, that being said, I think Auburn had that extra, I don't want to call it luck, but that extra clutch factor maybe, where the slight difference between hitting the crossbar and then you're able to following up on it was really big, and something that UTA had the chances to go for but didn't, or really wasn't able to follow up on it.
Yeah, it was a bit tough at the very end there, could not control the momentum, ended up with a bit of an own goal, but not going to take credit away from Auburn University. It was a great shot regardless, the pressure was amping up, it was only about time, so Auburn, much needed and well-deserved game 1 win. Heading into game number 2, will UTA see a response, or will it be Auburn taking another one home?
Will we see more than one goal in the game this time around? Because last time, going into overtime and nobody scoring until the end, not that common to see, honestly, in any game of Rocket League.
Yeah, my games are usually very high scoring because I suck at defense, but hey, this is different.
Fair enough, but huge props to how they made the defense work from both sides, and hopefully this time around we get such a good playmaking game with more goal scoring. And so far they are still keeping up the attack and trying to force onto each of the sides as best as they can, and maybe setting up for a potential first goal here. Slight touch.
Good setup. Backboard read from UTA. Hopefully they're going to get this out of their own half, but this could be a double commit. Waiting for Sin to get a strong touch. Unfortunately, good intercept there from Auburn, keeping the ball on the orange side as much as they possibly can. Here's another demo coming in from Aerial. So they're going to pick this one up and continue this down center shot. The pass is good, but Dreskel's intercept could have been a bit better. Third man comes in, and okay, Aerials, I see you. I see you come flying in like a hawk and securing goals for Auburn like it's nothing. What is that touch?
It's the touch at the end, coming after it was trying to be pushed away from the net. Really slight touch, but perfectly positioned there by Aerials. And so far, much better than the previous game where we already have our first goal way before overtime.
Yeah, you'll have to see it. Auburn University picking up the pace, and this time not, it just, straight up in regulation. Not much has changed except for Auburn University's relentless offensive pressure. UTA haven't found the response to it just yet, but as I say that, there's Polka Dot securing the equalizer and the very first goal for UTA in the best of 5.
And so far, like we were saying, much better than the previous game with the goal in the goal scoring department at the very least, with one for UTA as well. Hulk answering immediately back onto what Auburn was able to achieve, and it's all once again on the setup. The slight touches that maybe in the previous game were missing by just a tiny bit now are actually connecting and committing really well from both teams, not only for Auburn but now for UTA as well. Can they keep on making this work out? It's something we have to wait and see. But it's nice to see that they are finally connecting with those sort of goal-scoring potentials.
And these goal-scoring potentials, you know, keep coming in from UTA, but they've not been able to close them out just yet. So many attempts being nibbed in the bud, so many attempts failing at the very end as well, you know, just not being able to have those finishers come through. So UTA, even if they're trying their very best, even if they have so many shots under their belt, not being able to close a shot out, close a play out is one of the biggest factors that become a downfall for a team like this.
And now it's forcing a bit more on the side of UTA. They've been trying to make their way out of their own side from Auburn, but it's really difficult when now UTA picks up the pace and just pushes as much as possible, tries to force a little bit more, and we may get a similar situation from the previous game where now Auburn will wait for that opportunity where the commitment is much heavier on the side of UTA, and then they try and go back onto the side to try and take advantage of the fact that there's more members attacking than defending.
And TDS, what are we thinking here? Do we see Auburn University just, you know, take another one home? Because from what it seems like, this back and forth, it's not going to stop. The momentum has been conserved from both teams. You know, they've been able to conserve the momentum. They've been able to make that make the boost usage count. So it's all about who makes mistakes first.
It's the who makes the tiniest bit of mistakes, and it's going to be a really tiny one, just like we saw in the previous game. Slight miss touch, it's going to end up being the defining factor here, and whoever can take the lead could even end up closing it before overtime comes through. Obviously last time we had overtime, so could end up going into overtime once again, but I feel like maybe it's not going to be the case. What a save there.
And I am surprised this wasn't a goal already. They have no momentum as they're sitting in front of the blue net, while UT have not been able to secure a goal just yet. As I say that, this could have been something, but Driscoll comes in flying for another save. Only a minute remaining. We're still at a 1-1 scoreline. That could change, though. A double commit on defense could prove costly, especially this late into the game when you need to keep setting up offensive plays. Here's one. The pinch could have been into the blue net, but Auburn University lives to see another day. UTA, they don't got a lead just yet. It could be coming in pretty shortly.
It up.
But no, Sin. A huge miss. It's gonna strip away a lot of time from the clock.
It was open there with the demo coming through. That was the slight demo that maybe was going to be the difference maker for the score, but it's not going to end up being the case. Sin missing a pretty much an open goal there, potential, and now it's open for either side. Either can really try and force it, although another demo coming through may be a good potential for UTA. Oh, open net. Oh, this light touch.
Oh my god. Something, they're gonna give something a try here. Before going to overtime, Aerials, he tried to pinch it off, but you do not want it to bite you back, especially after endings like those. But we go to game number 2 overtime this time. UTA looking to fight for that game 1 win, while AU, they've already got 1, they're looking for 2.
Exactly. They want to try and put themselves in the best spot possible to just try and close out the series as soon as they can. They don't want to play with fate. They don't want to play with luck. They want to close this out as best as they can. They are looking for that 1 goal in the overtime battle. UTA, once again, trying to force their way really heavily onto the attack, trying to make just their attack as fierce as possible.
Oh my god, Speaking of TDS, speak of the devil, and they're already here. It's AU and Aerials once again taking another goal. He goes off the sidewall. It's an open net. Nobody there to stop this man. And with that, Auburn is now up by 2 games in this best of 5 series. I'm going to be perfectly honest with the viewers here. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Before the stream started, before we were going into this match, I said it to myself and I said to everybody else here, yeah, this might just be a quick game because UTA is still good. I love being proven wrong. this is the we're not on cams yet, but this is the face of a person who loves to be proven wrong in such moments. You love to see the underdogs rise up, right? Auburn University, they're playing amazing. I'm just impressed.
They've been doing a really good job, and I feel like more so than the fact that they are winning, it's how they're winning, right? It's the execution on their plans. They are not playing hyper aggressive, but they are waiting for the right opportunities to take the best approach into attacking. They have a really solid defense, sometimes maybe having to commit a bit more onto defending than onto trying to play the ball and trying to force their attack, but that is forcing UTA to try and commit heavily into some plays, and that leaves their defense disorganized. And I think that's Auburn taking full advantage out of that and making the most out of it. Really, full credit to Auburn how they're playing it, and one game away from taking the BO5 just like that.
In a sweepable fashion, one more game. Last 2 games have been close. Will this be another same situation? Let's find out. 5 minutes on the clock once again. Auburn University 5 minutes away from closing this one out in a sweepable fashion, while UTA is fighting for their lives in this best of 5.
And already forcing this time around a bit more aggressive on the side of Auburn. They are actually taking pedal to the metal and forcing their plays, and it's going to turn into a really quick goal by who else than Ariels. The man that has been stepping up so far this series feels like, and doing such a good job with those last touches. The quickest goal we have had so far, pretty much. It was as soon as it started.
Man, I usually face kickoff goals, but no, that was actually a well thought out play. Given the short amount of time frame that these guys had to coordinate, but even then they were able to make it happen. 30 seconds in, Auburn University is up by, they're up by 1, but that is gonna be short-lived. Sin, he finds the opening, takes it to the other side, and carries it home 1-1 on the scoreboard.
And actually done in a similar fashion to what Auburn has been doing a lot to UTA. Taking the opportunity when they are forcing a full-on attack to try and put a ball in between where the defenders are completely dispositioned and perfectly putting it into the net. It's kind of fun that it happened like that, because we've seen the opposite story so far this series. But since Auburn took on to attack as much as possible this game, now it's a good opportunity for UTA to try and force something similar. And maybe we see more of that, since Auburn is really trying to force the attack as best as they can.
Oh, but sometimes you gotta focus on the quality, right, instead of the quantity. And at this moment, UTA, they've gotta up the quality of these offensive plays, and I feel like they already have, but need to get that extra oomph in there. 1-1 remains the scoreline. We are 90 seconds into this game. Auburn continues to dominate on the offensive department, and look at that. They're not going to stop, especially if you want to just consider this last minute. Because UTA, I've not seen them in offense in a while. There they are finally, but the shot is missed, and AU is going to head back into offense.
One of the first opportunities we've seen from them, but it's going to turn into the turnaround by Polk. When they pushed the issue, they took Auburn in a really bad spot, and with no opportunity to actually defend, Polk takes advantage of this. This is kind of the first time we've seen Auburn in a really disorganized fashion in their own defense. Attack-wise, it was kind of interesting, but it kind of left their defense completely open, and UTA took full advantage out of it, almost making another one go in.
Not in just yet. UTA continuing to maintain that 1-goal lead, while Auburn University, they're trying to find solutions to this problem. It's been a while since they were down in a deficit, especially against a team of UTA's caliber. So now starts the ultimate test for Auburn University. How do they stand up against the best? One of the best.
This is the first time that UTA is actually on the lead in the whole series. I think they haven't been in the lead at all until now. Well, until now, this was the first time they've been in the lead so far this series, and now they lose it once again with a really quick move coming in from the side of Auburn, and a really nice touch by Mango there.
Absolutely. Well, that's one way to tie up the series, right, TDS? What are we thinking?
Yep.
Will Auburn be able to close this one out? Because, my senses are tingling. Auburn University, they're getting back into the groove. We can see them picking up the pace. We can see them picking up the momentum. But UTA, they're doing the exact same thing, but in a much more glamorous fashion.
100%, and it's really it's really scary if you're forcing yourself like that, or like Auburn was doing, because you're leaving way too many spaces. Like, I like the fact that they are trying to force some more attacks, but you need to do them in the manner that you were doing your defense as well. You need to be smart about how you take them, and Auburn needs to be ready to respond when UTA wants to try and answer back, especially knowing that they are on the with their backs against the wall. They are one game away from losing the series. They have to be either more aggressive or smarter about how they approach their goal scoring attempts.
And honestly, with the way Auburn has been playing, smarter is the way to go, because they've always have been able to make the correct decisions. But right now, that's not the case. It's UTA taking that 1-goal lead here. With a minute and 40 seconds remaining, the Mavericks come out on top.
And it's one member out of position. That means that it's going to be the opportunity to go for the goal. The biggest flaw so far in this game has been for Auburn their disorganized defense. What has been an advantage for them in the previous games, now it's turning into a bit of a heavy flaw, and they need to try and correct it as best as they can, and try and now come back into tying this game, because if not, it's going to go into the favor of UTA.
Well, I mean, the first step right now is just to still get that equalizer, right? TDS. Yep. So Auburn, will they be able to do that? 60 seconds remaining. Finding out right now, the ball's gonna go over towards the UTA side, picked up by Sin. Not in the best way though. This could result in a goal, but the defense a little too far away to handle it. But look at that. That could have been a pinch in so much favor for UTA, or rather, they haven't been able to make something off it just yet. 45 seconds. TDS, this is it's like the death timer here. UTA, they've got to maintain this lead if they don't want to go to overtime, especially when Auburn is one game away from taking the series home.
And they may try to do just that. They may try to just play around with the ball, try and hold it in a spot where they can try and not force themselves into an awful spot, or force or allow Auburn to get an opportunity, or try and just get that 1 goal to force the issue in their favor. That's about what I'm trying to look here for UTA, because if they misplay and they bring it to the overtime, it'd be really, really dangerous. But I think they are going to be able to manage it out. Only 5 seconds remaining.
5 seconds remaining, as you mentioned. Auburn University not being able to make the comeback. It's UTA taking that final goal, and by once again a 1-goal lead. It is UTA taking game number 3. A sweep is not in the picture, because UTA beating a team like that is not an easy task. So, Auburn, what did UTA do differently this time that they were not able to follow up in the last 2 games?
So, obviously, full credit to how UTA played it, because I think that they took advantage of the spaces that were left by Auburn in a really smart fashion. But I think a lot of that falls on Auburn. They were trying to commit heavily onto the attack, falling away from their previous game plan in the previous 2 games. I think that if they played more around what made them strong, it's fine to try and force a bit aggressively early on. I don't think that's completely wrong. But when they initially lost the lead and they were able to finally tie it back, you can go back into how your game plan was working, into what was working for you in the previous 2 games. They kind of left it away and just tried to play something different in this game. If it's a one-game thing, it's fine. But if it falls into becoming a bit more of a problem or of an occurrence for them, can be a bit dangerous. Although they start out with a quick goal once again.
Quick goal for Auburn University in 8 seconds. You'd wonder if they were not able to make something like this happen in the 5 minutes that they were given. But hey, it is what it is. Auburn University. First goal early on. Now let's see how quick is UTA on the response time. I would say less than 10 seconds.
Hopefully they can tie it out as quickly as possible, because trying to play with the clock against you, it's not an easy thing. And just like that, they pretty much tied it as soon as they could. They find the slide angle and they make it work. And it's something that in the previous 2 games has been difficult for Auburn to try and stop. They've been caught with their pants down, and it's kind of difficult to actually stop that from being an issue if you're not prepared for it.
Oh, this could be something here for UTA. They need to build up that momentum. Momentum has been built up, but the defense is still so much better. AU not in a deficit just yet, even though situation was looking highly dire. They managed to come out on top. AU 1-1 against UTA. Sorry, at the moment. And this flick could be something. UTA almost getting that lead. Sin. He's gonna take it off the backboard. That's a double commit. TDS. This could be a goal for UTA. Where is the second man? He's miles away. Now going up into the air. Double touch. Bottom right.
Almost.
Saved by Dreskel.
The touch was so nice there, but it's not enough. And the setup going to come through perfectly. And UTA, they are trying to put a stamp into the series, say we are not out. Even if we were 2 games down, it's not going to be enough. And finding the plays, finding the touches, and making Auburn's defense being complete disarray. What a 4th game coming through by UTA, and if they can keep on scoring, it's going to become much difficult. Just like that, another one by Polk. This is a complete different beast that we have seen so far from UTA.
A completely different situation. We have not expected UTA to pick up a 2-goal lead in a matter of minute. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game, but it does mean that AU have got a lot of time behind their back. If they want to make something happen, if they want to make a comeback, you know, 2-goal deficit, not a bad idea. They've done it before. They can do it again.
It's not impossible, but it's quite difficult, especially with the way that UTA has been playing so far. They feel like they are taking the momentum in their favor and actually forcing it really well. Now, that being said, Auburn still has the power to try and turn around, and we've seen from them. But another goal coming in by Sin, and the onslaught, it's not stopping Flater. It's just working out time after time for them.
And it's like they turned their monitors on or something after the game, after the first 2 games, because
What happened before?
yeah, newfound roster, it seems like. 4 goals secured in 90 seconds. I'm just as surprised as I was when I saw Auburn taking game number 2 and 1.
Oh, but a quick
There
goal
it is, finally a
after taking it.
response.
Yeah, came through as soon as the kickoff comes through. And Wrestler, we were asking for Auburn to appear here, and they finally come back after giving up 3 goals. They finally show their faces once again. 2 left to try and make the comeback happen, but there's 3 minutes left on the clock. It's possible, not impossible. It's difficult though.
Oh, shot on target.
Yeah, just like that.
And that's it.
See?
Yeah. Dude, TDS, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. This does not happen to me. You know, I shoot the ball on target. First of all, it doesn't even go on the target. And, you know, even if it does, I've got 7 defenders saving it. 3 from the opponent side and 2 from my team. So that actually makes it 5, but, you know, that just goes to show. Matt.
But it's more than you probably want to have defending your own goal.
That's fair.
But now we're at a 1-goal deficit for Auburn, actually closer than what it was looking. With the it was 4-1, and just out of nowhere, Auburn takes 2 goals back immediately, and now looking to try and tie the series up, maybe win it if they can. With timing left, there's still 250 seconds, 250 minutes. It's actually quite nice to try and force onto their favor.
And TDS, you know, I've been thinking of asking you this. So, UTA, what they changed going from the first 2 games into the next few, has seriously been one of the biggest changes we have seen all day. How do you think other teams can incorporate something like this? Because, you know, we have seen one-sided games. Just the last one was a 3-0. How do you think those teams can adapt to these open play styles? What is the strategy behind this?
I don't think there's quite a strategy for it, because it feels like after seeing how it's been going, I feel like it's quite momentum based, and it depends on who is feeling better in the team and who is feeling like they can just completely destroy the enemy team on the side of UTA, or that being said, in almost any other team. Like, there's no actual strategy for it, because it all depends on who's feeling the best at the moment. It's actually momentum based. And I think there's been conversations that it's not a big factor, but it can actually change a lot of how a player feels, how a player moves, how a player attacks, if they're just feeling that they can destroy everyone at the moment.
Well, at this moment,
Ooh,
Auburn
touch.
University, they need this goal. Very close. Unfortunately, no ice just yet. Minute and 20, minute and 15 left on the clock. Control in the hands of Auburn University as Random Shy takes it away. He's going to pick it up from the corner. a lot of boost to work with. Another pass should come through. It was high up into the air, not picked up by aerials, and that's once again a miss. So, AU, after a couple of mistakes here, would they be able to make this, make it back into this game? Because, you know, it's a pretty similar scoreline as to what we saw in the last game. UTA is up by 1. 45 seconds remaining. This could have been a goal. Auburn University pass is beautiful, but the third man is miles away, and they would be able to secure the goal nonetheless. TDS, they did it. They did it again.
And the save was crisp, but it's not enough. Drestwick coming in from the side, getting that one touch. It's all you need, and now we have a tied game later. And there's still time to actually take it for either team, but it feels like the momentum now a bit more on Auburn's side. They actually are looking to try and close it out. Maybe if they can take the win here, it would be quite momentum for them. Oh, that was so close.
Well, like, to be honest, fair. You don't want the third man to be overcommitting in that position, especially when you're on an equalizer, right? But AU continue to maintain that possession. There they go, Driscoll once again, the 15, not the best. They're looking to pick it up again. Aerials, the man, the myth, the legend, looking to set up a pass. 50, does it go his way? Not exactly, but still maintaining pressure, and that's what counts. The ball's gonna go down. Aerials is ready for the shot. Is that in? No. But Josh does not want to drop the ball just yet, and now he finally drops. We're going to game number 4 overtime and see if we'll have the first game 5 of the day, or Auburn University is gonna end it right here.
It's gonna be the difference between going the full way or just ending it here with a couple of matchups that were quite hype, not gonna lie. So hopefully we get a really good chance to see it, and it seems like it's going to be the attack, but it's such a good save by Paul there.
Oh, good aerial. No momentum to pick it up though.
A couple of shots here and there, but not enough to actually take it. Both sides trying to force themselves over in the mid, and now trying to go into the goal. Auburn not as aggressive as we've seen from them previously, and maybe trying to keep a bit more control with how they've been giving up goals in this game and in the previous one as well.
Oh, this could be something. And TDS, you're absolutely right. This is not the first time we see these teams going against each other in overtime as well. So they're already used to these nerves. But even so, you've always got to ask, when you're on such stage, when you're being watched by so many people, will you ever be ready?
It's kind of difficult to say. Like I just feel like you have to play it as best as you can in the moment, be it with nerves or with nothing at all. You have to just let them play, and you'll maybe get accustomed in the future, or maybe not. Like, it really depends on the players and on who the better players are in the occasions, and that's close to being a goal, but the demo coming through on the second man, saving a bit of the situation there.
And Auburn University, the way they've been playing, it's been nothing short of surprising, but being able to close out is something that a lot of teams struggle with. Will Auburn University be able to do that? 2 minutes into this overtime, Auburn trying to take possession. Possession hasn't been maintained so far. Here's an opportunity for a shot on target. It's going to hit the backboard. Second man comes into play. It's Aerials. Oh my god, he's waiting too long. He's going to get bumped by his own teammate. Definitely not a good sign. Josh looking to pick this one up. Aerials, everybody's trying to hit it from the corner to the center. But in that process, you would not want to lose possession of the ball. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is the golden goal to decide if you're going to game 5, or do we see AU winning this. It was a very close 50 once again, but UTA is not out of it just yet. Heading back onto offense. It's cleared away onto the midfield. Auburn looking to take possession. It's Aerials losing it as soon as he picks it up. So the back and forth continues. We don't know who's going to win this overtime yet.
There's a slight bit of space, but it's not going to be taken accordingly, and even though the demo comes through, it's not going to be enough to actually push through the goal, and maybe this last touch.
Oh my god!
Coming in on the perfect time, almost makes it work out for UTA, but actually saves there for Auburn, and now the position, who is going to take it? They are trying, it's tit for tat on both sides, pretty much.
Man, we're over halfway through a second game in the same match.
Pretty much.
We have not decided on a winner yet. So overtime between both these teams could not get any more competitive. That's another demo. So saved at the moment. They're going to pick up the ball once again. Trying for the other side of the field. Does it work out? 2 times the charm. 2 players go up for it. The double commit works out for the save. Will it work again? Because here's another shot coming in on target. Aerials. He's not run out of boost just yet, but UTA is running out of life as another demo comes in. Sin is going to make another save, but there's the much needed clear that they needed. We're going to go back to the midfield. A demo has been made, but the ball's been thrown a little too far away.
It's not gonna come through there, and it's still going tit for tat on both sides. Neither team is really finding that last touch they need to try and close it out, and both teams feel like they are both scared, but know that they have to commit at some point. Like they understand that they need to go in for the goal, but they are scared of giving up that one goal that will make the difference between winning the series or trying to force the last game.
Oh, this could be something. Here's the second man, and there it is. It's about time. And it is about a long time. 4 minutes and 30 seconds of overtime will finally give us the decision. It is Dreskel receiving the pass from, I believe that was Mr. Mango, to take the series home, to take the game home, and end it at a 3-1 scoreline. What a game, what a series, TDS.
That was surprising to say the least, but Auburn doing an amazing job trying to close out the series and doing so in a really good fashion. It almost felt like we were going to go to the 5 games. Remember, we were 4-1 at one point, but then out of nowhere, Auburn takes 2 back immediately. Then they force the overtime really well, and then in between being scared and wanting to force the goal, it ends up working out for the team that just take that one risk a bit better and also have the better last touch. That's still a really big strength to have, and Auburn at the end of the day pulled it off really, really well. I think both teams going head to head in a really good manner. Like, I don't want to take anything away from UTA because I think they played really, really well as well.
Yeah, both of these teams played out of their minds. We did not expect the series to go the way it did, so I'm pretty happy. All I do want to mention that Auburn University, you know, they have been, well, this entire series, the match has been very competitive, right? So, you know, we started off, Auburn University got the first few goals, and they built on that, right? They evolved, they adapted to UTA's playstyle, and that's exactly what we want to see at EGF. That's exactly what we want to see these university students doing, adapting, evolving, overcoming. I'm gonna take a page off of some pop culture reference there, but they played out of their minds. They have done amazing. UTA. Close games, all of them. All 4 games were close. I think we had 3 overtimes, but only 1 going to UTA's side.
Yeah, and just as we finish the series, we have a quick interview here prepared. Want to confirm the player, but I'm not 100% sure just yet. Wrestler. Okay, so it's going to be Dreskel coming in for the interview. And going to be a guy that had a really big impact on their team. So really glad to have him here.
And I believe we just need a couple of moments to set up this interview with Dreskel. So we'll be back very soon. Don't go anywhere.
And that was a quick break because we are in an interview with Dreskula, one of the better players, or I wouldn't say everyone played to a really high degree, but obviously coming in clutch with a couple of goals here and there. So glad to have you here and really happy for your victory today.
Yeah, it was hard fought, very close, but it was very stressful. But I'm glad we didn't have to go to game 5.
Dreskel,
And I wondered, just
Go
quickly,
ahead.
I wanted to ask, because talking about that game 5, it felt like you guys could have closed it out in the 3-0, but it kind of got hairy in that third game. So a bit of a thoughts about how that game 3 went and how you kind of turn around the bad situation in the game 4.
Yeah, well, game 3, I know, because all of our other series have gone to game 5, and we had started 2-0. So we were in that position before. We're like, okay, this should be it. And we got a little over aggressive. We tried to force it too much, and that's where you saw we were leaving our third man on an island, 2v1s, over our heads, overextending. And we just took back, it's really the second half of that game, just to settle down, refine what we were doing well, and put it into game 4.
Well, Dreskel, what was the game plan coming into this? You know, UTA, a very strong team. So, what was the game plan coming into this one? I know Ariel, you, and Mango all have been having a lot of matches recently, and like you said, most of them have been going to game 5. So going into this one, what was the game plan for the team? How did you want this to make sure that you come out on top of the series?
I think for us, the most important thing is to play our game, because I think we're confident that we can go toe-to-toe with anyone if we just play our game. So we try to kind of... Our game's very attacking, like counter-attacking heavy. So our game plan was really just to stay solid in defense and try and be very efficient with the few offensive chances we can get.
I mean, I absolutely agree. You got to match the pace, you got to adapt, and that adaptability was impressive, to say the least. So once again, congratulations on getting the stub.
And also, speaking quickly about how the games went, just going back to that first game, because we saw, like, in the continuation of the series, high scoring in almost every other game, but that first one, it was defined by 1 goal in overtime. And I'm kind of curious if you were expecting something like that in any game in the series, or if you were expecting more the high scoring games that you played later on.
I was expecting low scoring. A lot of our other match wins have been low scoring as well. We're very kind of consistent, because I believe we also, last week when we played Washington State, won the first game 1-0. I forget if it was in overtime or not, but very low scoring, kind of because we're feeling each other out. And I think that, again, it's our defensive play style, where we aren't really a team that will score like 5 or 6 goals a game. We just need a couple goals and pride ourselves on our defense.
Any last questions, Flater?
Yeah, I absolutely agreed. This has been a blast, Dreskel. Do you have any shout-outs? Maybe your teammates, your coach?
Yeah, first, Ariels and Mango, as always. I couldn't do anything without them. Malopo, our game rep, and Auburn, their game lounge, which I'm in right now, for hosting me and allowing me to do these.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Dreskel. We will see you next week. I believe you've got a lot more series ahead of you, and I'm just excited to see more of your team in action.
Thank you so much.
And with that, we're going to take a quick break and then come back with the last series of the night. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back quite soon. And I told you I wasn't going to lie. It was a quick break, and we're back for the last series of the night. After a 3-1 exciting banger, hopefully this one does deliver with a 5-game series that we kind of want to see between MSU and NAU. It's going to be exciting. Hopefully, like I'm saying, goes the full way.
Absolutely. Montana State and Northern Arizona University, the Bobcats going up against the Lumberjacks, and you know, all the series so far have been very competitive, except for the second one. We might expect something very similar, right? Here we got the score lines up. UConn went up against Xavier University at the top 3-1. Then we got an 0-3 score line between RIT and Howard University, followed up by the very competitive Auburn University and UTA matchup. Even if the scoreline says 3-1, if you were here, you know that every game, or 90% of the games, were just overtimes, and overtimes. 4 minutes and 30 seconds overtime.
I think we kind of win one game pretty much, or one full game just based on overtime in the series.
Yeah, about 4 minutes and 32 seconds, something like that in the very last game. So in game number 4 as well. So Montana State and Northern Arizona University. Now, what do we expect? Do we see? Can we expect like more overtimes? Because I don't mind. It gets so competitive. It gets so exciting. It gets the blood pumping.
And it makes it so that mistakes are more punished, right? Like the worst thing that you can be brought into is knowing that one mistake can just define everything out of a match. And that's what overtimes does, Putri. It puts the onus on you to not make that one mistake, that crucial mistake that will cost your game and maybe a series even if you go to overtime. But because of how close both of these teams are, maybe we actually do end up going into one of those overtimes that may define a series.
That might just be the case. We've got the rosters right up here. Montana State University coming in with Pros, Ham, and Chef. And from Northern Arizona, we've got Galaxies. This is a lot of X's, Y's, and Z's. Beast and Chronicle from NAU. Once again, the Lumberjacks going up against Bobcats. And, you know, we do have some stats, so let me read that out to you. Although, after every week, you know, we just see teams in new light. Montana State University went up against University of South California, and I believe they ended up winning that game. And in the next one, they went up against UConn, which I believe they lost. So, you know, they've had their fair share of losses and defeats, and so has been a very similar run for Northern Arizona University. So, as you mentioned, very close on the leaderboards, very close to each other on the standings. This could just be one of the most competitive series of the day.
Exactly, and having that on the last matchup does bring up the possibility of the match going the full series, going the full way and taking us into 5 games. And as soon as we are able to go into the game, which is right now, we're going to see how close these teams really are. But already attacking between both sides, and a demo coming through super quickly.
Here we go, the first game of the best of 5 series. MSU on the yellow side, Northern Arizona University hailing from the blue. Going to be going head-to-head against each other in this best-of-5 matchup. 20 seconds in, just a lot of back-and-forth ping-pong action between these two teams, but no early goals yet.
And it's not feeling like one team is more adapting to any style just yet. Like, it's both teams trying to force onto each other, attacking a bit, but not necessarily attacking in the most fierce of ways. But it feels like maybe NAU actually trying to take a bit more control of the attack and force their ways as far ahead as they can.
Well, they've got demos going in now. Galaxies is going to take care of Ham. And, you know, in these positions is when I expect NAU to really have a lot of space to work with, get out of their own half, go for shots on target. But seems like Montana have continued to maintain that offense, maintain that pressure, but not being able to convert it into goals just yet. Regardless, pressure is what matters. If you amp it up high enough, you can get goals out of it. So far, MSU haven't done that yet. Northern Arizona University, however, are in a much tougher spot at the moment. Boost is running out, and MSU is really amping up the pressure here. Here comes a pass from Pros. It's going to be picked up by Chef. The Beast is here to save the day as he goes for the 50 and sends the ball right back to the Bobcats' half.
That was a slight mistouch there that almost sets up for NAU to actually commit there for the goal, but it's not enough. And now actually is Pros managing the ball all the way to the goal. Really nicely done from from one side to the other
My
and
God.
getting that first goal. Such
Whew.
well done play there. And MSU taking advantage of the full commitment coming in from NAU and does score that first goal.
And the legendary baller, as the title very accurately mentions, man goes to the ceiling, goes for the musty, but look at that. It doesn't matter if you don't have the fancy mechanics.
Yep.
All it matters is you gotta hit the ball to the back of the net, and Galaxy says, hey, I can do that. The bounce of the century. Look at that bounce, 54 miles an hour. Galaxies takes the first goal for NAU.
And the important part is if you can get the goal back as soon as you actually let it go through, and that way you tie the series really, really easily. Really well done there by the side of NAU, and now forcing a bit more as well, trying to go tit for tat, not allowing a moment's breathing room for either team. And it's going to be really fun seeing who can actually take the lead now. That was close.
Well, that definitely was close here. You know, the first half of the game already gone, but it's just as we mentioned, these games are going to be very close. Chronicle manages to run away with it. What is that save? And I mean, yeah, I agree. Beast got the shot in, but look at that save from Ham. Went to his net, goes for the shot to hit the crossbar and gets the save as well. It is unfortunate that it still went in, but a great try regardless from MSU. NAU will take that 1-goal lead going into the second half of the first game.
That's what happens when the commitment, even though it's going to be a really nice save, the commitment does come through and you're able to get it in a really well done manner. Huge props and another good save there by Pros. And now with the lead, NAU, how do they take this? Do they keep on going for more and more goals? It feels like that's going to be the case.
That's what it seems like. You know, we've got 2 minutes remaining. And Northern Arizona University, they've continued to maintain this offensive presence, maintain this offensive pressure, and they might be looking to amp it up even more. Chronicle, he was up in the air. He was ambitious to go for that shot. Unfortunately, couldn't get that finishing touch. Ham, a miss. Maybe it was worth it because Pros has a much better angle there. Could not pick it up and send it straight in. We've got the defensive positions to deal with. NAU continue to maintain this 1 goal, but for how long remains the question, because the Bobcats are getting ferocious by the minute, and it's only a matter of time before they can make this equalizer happen. Another 50 goes down to the bottom. Chef picks it up. He's past 2, and he's looking for the center. Touch does not get it done. Galaxies is gonna get the ball out of his half.
And gets the setup there, but it's not enough for Chronicler. Galaxy's going back into it, almost trying to manage it out. But the important part here is if they are able to get the equalizer, because you can attack as much as you want, but you need to try and put the goal down. If not, it's just going to be NAU taking it. You have to close out this lead and try and find the best opportunity for yourself. But so far, it's not looking like the equalizer is going to come through. At the very least, not right now. And 1 minute remaining.
1 minute remains here for Northern Arizona University to hold on to this lead and for Bobcats to make the comeback. What do they got to do to get out of their own half? Because that's the first step. And it seems like it is getting difficult by the second to snatch the ball away from NAU. Look at that. More and more opportunities for shots on target, but none of them going in just yet. Northern Arizona, double touch attempt from Chronicle does not connect just yet. But it is still NAU maintaining that 1-goal lead, if not still continuing to apply pressure.
The setups have been really, really good so far by NAU, and they are keeping the pace as best as they can, trying to keep the ball away as far as possible from their own goal. And that's just going to mean that for MSU, they are not going to find that 1 angle that they are looking for. They are not going to find the opportunity to actually tie it up. And it feels like it's going to be NAU taking the first game.
NAU taking game number 1 off of that 1 goal, and hey, TDS, it's just exactly what we mentioned.
Yep.
These games are going to be competitive. Look at that, 500 points for Pros, 499 to be exact, 2 saves, 3 for Ham, and Chef on 2 as well. So overall, Montana State University did a pretty good job. You know, they had like 5 shots, but being able to convert only a single one against Northern Arizona University. So, what would you credit it to? NAU's amazing defense or their ability to keep the ball to themselves?
I would say more so that the fact that they kept the ball as far away from their net as they could. Like, there was slight opportunities for the side of MSU to find opportunities to go for the attack, but the problem is that those attacks were not as useful as you would hope for. And if that's the case, then you're not really going to find the opportunities to make the goal happen. You are almost always going to try and force yourself, but you need to make the plays count. And the plays really weren't counting as much. Apart from Pros' one goal, the setups never felt like they could turn into a really important goal for them.
Yeah, it really just goes to show what they're capable of here. And, you know, starting off with the perfect kickoff here for Galaxy. Chronicle sends it over to Galaxy. He says, hey, free goal, pick it up. And Galaxy says, I got you. And he does just that. Picks it up, sends it straight to the back of the net. And NAU are going to set the record for the day, I believe, because that is the fastest anybody has scored a goal after kickoff here, at least for the day. Up by 1 already. And we're just getting started here in game number 2.
Yeah, we're trying to see how quick it was going to be with the previous series, but this one already quite quick and almost going to be with the open net, but it's not enough. Really good save there. And that means that now at the very least it's still just the 1 goal deficit. But with this quick of an opener for NAU, does this mean that it's going to be a quick onslaught by themselves, or will the side of MSU be able to answer it back? Maybe create better opportunities compared to what we saw in the previous game that were not as useful as we were kind of expecting from them.
Oh my god, that could have been another shot here from Montana State, but Northern Arizona, they're ready for anything and everything that is thrown at their net. MSU is going to try once again. Here's Bros looking for a bit of a shot on target. Chef's going to do the same thing, and a save comes in from Chronicle. Beast, they're going to pick this one up, flicks it over nobody, but not stopping there. Here's the shot, and there it is. Chronicle extending the lead to 2 here for Northern Arizona University.
This is the difference that you can see when looking at how NAU forces their plays and how MSU forces theirs. There's more thought behind how they are forcing it, and I don't mean like the side of MSU is not thinking about it. It's more so how they are prepping each play with 1 or 2 touches before them that sets up perfectly for the teammate that is coming from behind. And that's why at the end they are able to close out those plays. Something that MSU is lacking at the very end. They have really good ideas. It's more so the completion of those ideas that it's lacking.
And I mean, at this moment it seems like Northern Arizona have been able to craft all the ideas that they wanted against MSU, because with only what, 1 minute and 40 seconds, these guys are up by 2 goals against Montana State.
Yep.
So it really begs the question is, what does Montana State need to change if they want to make a comeback in this game?
Honestly speaking, it's not like they need to change much. It's just making their last 1 or 2 plays be better, or execute better on it. And it's not, you don't need to make them super difficult or anything like that, but you need to have the follow-up for their plays. Maybe it's a bit riskier because of what you need to commit to actually make them work, but as long as you actually commit and make them work, that's going to close out the difference as much as possible. And that's why I mean it's not that difficult in theory, but in execution may end up being quite difficult for MSU that hasn't had the answers just yet.
Just yeah, hey, but you never know. We've got half the time remaining, and that could be something as well. NAU could have extended the lead up to 3, but the ball is gonna be only going like what, 70% in there. So very fortunate, very unfortunate for Northern Arizona University. But MSU, they're counting their stars because they need to make a comeback and they need to make it quick.
Set up there. Slight bit of a mistouch there, almost makes an opportunity for the side of MSU, but a quick response by NAU, and this also has been really good. The time that it takes for them to respond to a play from MSU is really quick on the side of NAU. Like, they've been ready to respond accordingly, and they haven't given a lot of spaces thanks to that. Like, the small spaces that they've been given so far haven't been that big or big enough that the side of MSU can take advantage of them. Well, maybe this could be the best opportunity. It's so close for them, though.
Oh, and you know the surprising part here is that Northern Arizona, I think most of the players are on, well, Veeder cars. Honestly, we got one on the Gizmo, and there's a flat car in there, and I believe also a Phoenix. So, Northern Arizona, well, you know, you love to see this kind of passion for the game. You know, just a bit of a break from the Octanes, the Phoenix, and the Dominus. And look at that. They don't need fancy cars to get stuff done. Here's Beast with another one at the back of the net with 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining. NAU have secured 3 against the Bobcats.
You can keep your fancy cars. We have the power of friendship on our side and really good play as well. NAU executing on the plays in the right manner, and with the 3-0 lead, feels like this should be enough for them to try and close the game. It's still 1 minute, and it's not impossible for MSU to try and tie it out. One quick goal after the other could actually make the miracle happen, but at this point, it just feels like there's no real answers for MSU, whereas NAU just feels like in complete control of the game.
Yeah, complete control is a bit of an understatement at this point, because look at that, Northern Arizona, with even 40 seconds remaining, they seem to be the ones that they know where to go, they know where to take the ball next, they know how to take the ball away. Because MSU, this is not a 3-goal differential. This is them securing 3 goals and you letting them do it. Because MSU haven't had a chance to secure goals against this amazing roster of NAU. What do they do next?
Difficult question, because it feels like, have we seen any like big save so far in this game by NAU? It's kind of the question that I'm trying to look for. I think one was the biggest worry that NAU has had so far, after we see the 4th goal and pretty much the game completely out of, like, completely over, nothing to say after this. But did you remember any save, any meaningful save from the side of NAU? Kind of difficult to say yes. So in that case, it's just trying to actually commit to the attacks and make them happen. It feels like for the side of MSU.
Yeah, and I mean, in order to make saves, you first need to let your opponents have possession of the ball. And well, it seems like Northern Arizona University don't even want to do that. So it makes sense they don't have a lot of saves, because they've been playing out of their minds with just keeping the ball to themselves.
They're making it so that they neither can get shots nor control the ball. The ball is ours, and you will try to just get the scraps. Pretty much, that's what it feels like with Northern Arizona. Now, for MSU, it's not impossible to turn that back. We saw a good turnaround in the previous matchup by UTA. It's just that you need to be a bit more committed to the plays and to the aggressiveness, feels like. Like, yes, that may leave open spaces, but at this point, you have to take any risk you can, because if not, you're just going to end up losing like you did in the previous 2 games.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. One more game for Northern Arizona University. It is the game point, the series points, whatever you want to call it, for Bobcats. This is the final frontier, at least for the best of 5 series here in week number 4. We like to exaggerate things here or at EGF, but it's fine. Bobcats, they got to make this comeback, and for that, first, they got to start taking control of the ball again. Against NAU, it's not an easy task, so let's see if they're up for it here in game number 3.
It starts with 1, and they need to get that 1 as soon as they can.
Oh, look at that. I mean, dude, it is so honestly impressive to see the Gizmo. Gizmo out of all the cars, see all, do all of these impressive stunts in the air. I can't do the stuff with the Fennec. Or the Octane for that matter. And here's just Galaxy on the Scarab doing all kinds of stuff. He's the ball, and he is doing everything that the ball needs to do.
Except get inside of the net.
That's true. Yeah, you know what? It